I've been really
blessed.
I'm good.
I've been blessed so far. I got the food.
Can I
Sure.
sit here?
I got wherever you want.
Okay, I'm good here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me just talk. I just got a bunch of stuff.
Push the blue button. As soon as you're done, be sure to push it off because it causes an echo.
Yeah. We don't want any mics on unless you're talking.
Okay.
You got to be fairly close to the mic.
Okay.
So stick on the headset
And
make sure
it's your phones. My phone.
Oh yeah, phone.
Silence.
Yes, I got it.
Silence. Okay.
My phone. Silence.
Too high. Anyway, there's your volume.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And Tom's hard to get between, so you got to be quick.
Okay.
He talks fast too.
Okay. Sure.
So, and Dan said we're on the podcast right now.
Yeah, that'll be the camera when you talk and
So,
stuff. That'll be the camera.
Yeah, if you don't want any family secrets given out, there's 3 cameras here.
Yeah, even when we're not on the air, we're on
The
Put it on
podcast.
Facebook Live, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no problem with swearing and stuff like that on the Facebook thing, but
Okay.
on the air, yeah,
Sure.
be careful.
Sure. Just have to.
We all get
Jump
passionate
on
and
right.
excited here. So.
Yeah.
What's new, John?
Living the dream, man. Got back yesterday, leaving night again Friday,
From Florida? Not to be mentioned.
not to be mentioned.
And
We did a sailfish tournament last weekend.
A sailfish tournament. Does that mean you sail and fish, or you go for
We
sailfish?
go for sailfish. In
The old man in the sea was on.
25 to 30 mile an hour winds,
Are
sustained.
sailfish plentiful?
Yes. And 6 to 8 foot seas with an occasional 15 footer rolling by.
What was
Try to
that?
get
8 hours, 2 days in a row.
Ooh.
I did not on those 2 days, but I was amply dosed up with the Dramamine
Where were you at?
down in South Florida.
Okay.
So
I can get you on those seats.
we're in a 32 foot boat.
Yeah.
That's
I was on kind of a small cruise ship and cruised through a hurricane for 3 days.
Does Dramamine help you?
It emptied the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
you
wife
have
and I
to,
bounced off, but my wife and I don't need to sit.
it's not
My dad
something
does
that,
that patch.
yeah, some people do the patch. The thing about
We
it,
didn't
you
get
can't
sick.
wait till
You
you
didn't
have
because we
something
fly.
and
We
then
didn't
you take
get
one and
sick.
feel okay.
Everybody else
Yeah,
did.
you have to dose up.
It was bad.
Preventative,
Slosh the
right?
water out
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pool.
So I knew the conditions were going to be bad because it'd been bad the whole winter down there.
Yeah.
And so I started taking them like 2.5 days before, twice a day.
Just
So
to build up.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was still hanging
How
on
many
to
hours were you on the
zero.
boat for?
The first day was from 5:30 a.m. until about 4.
Okay.
The second day was 5:30 in the morning until about 3:30.
Okay. It's a good.
Two
Good
long
time at
days.
sea, right? Yeah.
Did you haul anything yet?
Yeah.
We did. We placed 4th.
Oh wow! How big a fish?
Sailfish are just numbers.
Do you really think he'll tell the truth when you ask how big?
Well, it's a fish story, so.
Sailfish are, the tournaments are just by the number. So you don't bring the fish in the boat. They don't get weighed or measured. It's
Hey,
strictly
Quinn,
by the number.
could you do me a huge favor?
Sure.
In the office, you know the conference room? There's a metal cabinet.
Yeah.
There's some Bear aspirin on the shelf there.
Okay.
And if you could bring up,
Dan, I need your little card to.
here, I'll give you mine. Thank you. I just,
Look how good I'm walking now.
I'm a little sore.
Thank you.
You say you went skiing? What?
No, snowmobiling.
Oh, someone did.
And I know that doesn't sound like you sponsors, but
Where'd you go?
Winter Park. And I was most of the time a passenger, and my son was driving, which drove me crazy.
Yeah.
So kind of braking, jumping, hitting, catching there, going over
Charge 303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already approved. Not pre-qualified. Approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000.
Hey, Dan, is there a login over here?
yeah, let me get back.
Lender regulated by
So it's just,
MLS 1367556 for terms and
There's so
conditions.
much. Just KL, all, everything. KL in the first one, KL in the second one. No, KL.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it went down. What's wrong with
I believe it's all lowercase.
Get in touch with Get Found Fast today and in 10 minutes they give you a free audit of
Okay,
your
we still had it on
website.
capital.
Look for bad and ugly and let you know if they can help you turn your website into a true business asset. Learn more at getfoundfast.com. That's
So is it RU1? Here, try doing that top one again.
So that should be,
Yeah, it's capital, you're on capital.
okay, so now it's off, that light is off.
Okay. Yep. Let me know if that doesn't work.
Yep. So this has the control board and stuff on it that I've not seen before. Is there a different button for this?
Oh, you actually have the callers on there, right there, right? Okay, let's go call track. And then go to, yeah, let's go to. Right there, that one right there.
This one?
Yeah.
There we go. I don't know.
Those are people online now, just waiting.
Yeah.
And there's 12 lines.
Rarely are there more than 4 or 5 at any one time lined up. So.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe where we are fighting for you. So, hope you had a great weekend. Let's start out by solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. As you know, it's the longest running show on the radio with the same host, and we're so happy to be successful thanks to you and thanks to all the help you give us. You know how you help us. If you call with a problem, we try to solve your problem, but then we make, what do I say, examples for others, so then others can learn from your mistakes. But we also try to help you at the same time. This hour brought to you by Buy and Build. I probably have never found better prices anywhere ever on anything when it comes to interior finish items like granite and cabinets and light fixtures especially. Man, light fixtures, the markup on light fixtures, oh my God. I mean, I've seen light fixtures going for $1,200. I am not kidding you that I can buy at Buy and Build for under $200. The same fixtures. I don't know how it does it, but Courtney says he buys giant containers of end lots or overstock or direct from the manufacturer. And that's how he does it. Plumbing fixtures the same way. Also, tile, hardwoods, cabinets are extra. He has the shaker line. So, buyandbuild.net if you want to know about it, but you should go up there. It's 4800 Washington Street. And as I said, they're really good people. 303-295-6022. Now, today is no different than any other day. We're going to weave a topic in and out. And the weaver today, the weaver of tall tales, John Fuller, Fuller Law. He's a personal injury attorney, and we will answer any questions relating to personal injury, or, of course, he just chimes in from time to time. The whole idea is John's a good guy, and he's a real person. And he doesn't give himself a fancy nickname, although maybe he should. I don't know. You got the strong people and the weak people, and you got the big asses, and you got the big arms, and you got the bulldogs, and you got the bears, and you got the...
What'd you call me one day, a pocket something, or...
Oh, yeah, what was the name we had for him? What was it? We wanted to give him a nickname. Doggone it, I forget what it was.
Something,
No,
I think it might have been
that. Anyway, no, he knows how to sniff out money. I mean, one time, I remember this one case where we thought this person didn't have a prayer of finding money. But because they were living in a household and they were connected somehow through insurance, it's amazing how insurance can be connected. If a collection is the big deal, by the way. It doesn't matter if you have a great case. Do you know how many people have great cases? And think about this. If you have a great case and someone makes 18 grand a year and they have 2 kids and no insurance, John, you could get possibly $1 million verdict if somebody was destroyed by that person. But
of course.
Then what?
Tom, we get this all the time. I mean, this is the one recurring theme of me coming on your show is that we need to protect ourselves with the insurance that we buy, because that $1 million judgment against the person that makes nothing and has nothing is worth exactly that, nothing.
Now, if you have a judgment against people with money or people with insurance, that's different. That's where John tries to sniff it out. But you have to protect yourself with underinsured and uninsured motorists. as far, and then if you care about your car, get collision coverage. Now, if you don't, if it's not expensive, if your car isn't valuable enough to carry collision, then at least get uninsured property damage, which is a very small slice of insurance for those rare times you're hit by someone with no insurance. You want to fix your car. You know, we never have a single topic theme, so you can call about anything. The lines are filled up. We'll get to all of you right now. And then I want to talk about that $100 million judgment against a helicopter manufacturer and Flight for Life. Have you heard about it? Because of the exploding fuel cells. They're plastic fuel cells. And I want to know, will they collect $100 million? Because those are two substantial companies. Or does that get negotiated? How does that work? Or is it what you see is what you get?
It depends on, classic answer, it depends. It depends on the way they arrived at that judgment, whether it was general damages, whether it was exemplary damages. The different categories have varying degrees of dischargeability and stuff. Most certainly that verdict will be challenged, and another set of judges will be able to put their eyes on it and determine whether they think it comports with, the reasonableness under Colorado law. But it's still a big judgment. It's going to have value. The unfortunate side of it is it's not like you walk out of court with a judgment that big and they just send you a check the next day.
That's a record settlement, by the way, $100 million for maybe aviation. It's certainly not a record settlement in history, right? It's just maybe for aviation or for helicopter. It's a big one, isn't it?
For one party, it's big.
Yeah, it really is. And that attorney can basically retire.
I would hope.
303-713-TALK. Cindy, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. I'll send you a detailed email, so I won't give you the whole story. I hired a mechanic to come and replace an engine sensor on my vehicle that was in perfect running condition when he got here, and he agreed with me that it was in such good condition.
No, Cindy, you hired him to do what?
To replace an engine sensor, a knock sensor. It's part of the computer system.
But the car was in perfect condition. What year is this car?
It's a 2001.
And how many miles on it?
It was 160.
Okay. And 160,000 miles, 2001, what kind?
It was a Nissan Xterra.
Okay, so basically you had a knock sensor put on it. What happened?
Well, we agreed that it would be between $600 and $800.
When you say we agreed, that means a contract?
No, we just verbally. I said, what would it cost? He said between $6 and $8, and I said, do you think it's worth it? Is this car worth it? And he said, if it was my car, yeah, because it runs real strong. It's great.
So you had a verbal agreement and also financial advice verbally. Then what?
Yeah. So he said he would have. It took about 4.5 hours. Ended up taking him 4 days. I paid him $770 in a check, and he went and cashed it. I got in the car 1 hour after he supposedly did the repair to take it to pick up groceries. When I was taking it to the grocery store, which is 2 miles away, it was idling rough. So I went, well, okay, I'll just get the groceries and hurry up home. So I got the groceries as I was trying.
Hold on, Cindy, Cindy, that's your cell, I think. Cindy? Cindy, are you there? That could only be God intervening here because I was about to pull my teeth. Cindy, are you there? There is blessing. Hold on, I'm just kidding. Cindy, I do want to talk to you. Somehow, could you check her, please? And, John Fuller, I want to mention something to you. Did you ever notice when people say, I agreed, and I asked, and I said, and they said, is it worth it? I had one person who said, I asked if it was worth it. I made it clear that these are statements you hear. I made it clear, or I asked, or we determined. And we had one case where a woman said, I asked if it was worth it. I did the repair. The engine ended up blowing. Not only did she think she should get the repair back, but the price of an engine because he didn't give her the right advice. Enough said, right? You hear that all the time? I made it clear.
It's no different than the lady that was on the radio show the one day that said, do you remember the doctor that infected all those people with some disease?
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't one of those,
Oh, yeah, I know. She did. I know. So, Cindy, are you there? Cindy, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, somehow your phone went out. So, listen, let's get right down to it. So, you paid $770 for a knock sensor. What's the problem? What are you calling about today?
When I tried the back of my driveway 4 miles after he repaired it.
Well, you're not calling about your driveway, so what happened to the car?
When I was trying to back in my driveway, the engine blew a rod right through the engine.
Now, what did that have to do? Now, I don't think that had to do with the knock sensor, did it?
It had something to do with something he did wrong.
What did he do wrong?
I don't know. He came over.
Let's call our mechanics to find out. I want to know, what can you do putting a knock sensor in that would blow the engine?
Tom, a bad knock sensor allowing the knock sensor is just a microphone, and when it hears those knocks, it backs the timing up.
Right.
When you have poor fuel.
So if you don't have a knock sensor,
But
the timing could be off, but I don't know how.
Running with a bad knock sensor does a lot of damage to the rods.
I don't. So what do you think? You didn't have a knock sensor at all. How did you even know you needed one, Cindy? No one wakes up and says, I need to get my knock sensor changed. Why did you think you needed a knock sensor?
Because the check engine light came on.
And so he said you needed a knock sensor.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
He
gotcha.
said it was, yes. And I've spoken with 3 other mechanics.
Yes.
Who told me he did have to remove intakes to replace this part.
Well, if he put on a bad knock sensor, if he caused this, then he not only owes you that $770 back, but he would owe you, well, he'd owe you one or the other. He would owe you the price of an engine with 160,000 miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, does he take responsibility?
What he did was he gave me back $400 and told me he was going to keep the rest.
Why?
For the parts that he installed.
But wait a minute. If your engine's gone, if he ruined your engine. Now, this is what's weird. He doesn't actually owe you the 770. If the engine is gone, he owes you the price of the engine because it's weird. Because he owes you a working engine, is what I'm saying, with a good knock sensor. That's what he owes you, but not a new engine. He owes you what he took from you, which was an engine with 160,000 miles on it, or the value of that. Do we have the mechanic on? No. Okay, we do have Jeff Kimmer, though. Kimmer Transmission. Jeff Vick, I mean, from Kimmer Transmission. Jeff Vick. Vic, how you doing? Let's talk.
Doing well.
Let's talk about a knock sensor. Can you ruin an engine putting in a knock sensor? Huh?
By putting one in?
Yeah, or doing it wrong or something. She said she had a knock sensor put in. An hour later, her engine blew.
Boy, that'd be pretty tough to do. A knock sensor is a reactionary device. It just lets you know when it hears things going on.
Does it adjust?
Inside the motor.
Does it adjust timing?
No. It literally is a warning when it's sensing noises, basically something coming apart, or something misfiring loud enough that
Can a bad knock sensor do damage?
No.
Okay, so we misunderstood. So, it can't do damage. It can't ruin an engine. What is there that he could have screwed up doing a knock sensor that could cause an engine to blow? I mean, keep in mind this engine has 160,000 miles on it. Is there anything you can think of he would have ruined?
Not right off the top of my head. I mean, if you put in wrong gaskets or didn't get something filled
See, here's what I think. Her check
something.
engine light was on. This guy said you need a knock sensor. The knock sensor, she said, blew the engine. I think her engine was about to go anyway.
Yeah, I think they put the cart before the horse there. Sounds like the engine was actually causing problems. The knock sensor picked it up. It was misdiagnosed, and then it went down.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jeff Vick, Kimmer Transmission. By the way, he's at 303-693-1400. We have a lot more to talk about coming up. This is a very difficult situation. When you bring an old car in and something else breaks, people, for some reason, and I don't blame them, they look for causation based on proximity of time or space. Meaning, if someone works on your toilet, and we've had plumbers work on something in the basement, something else way across the room goes bad, and they say, well, it's my plumbing system, he must have done it, because it's too coincidental. The same thing happens with cars. We have an expression, when you work on an old car, you own it. Meaning, once you touch it, you own it. Coming up, we'll talk more with John Fuller, Fuller Law. We'll introduce our common man. I want to tell you first about Simply Floors. I told you about buy and build, right? Now I'm going to talk about Simply Floors. I love these people that save you money. And Simply Floors, Inc., if you remember that website, you can make your own appointment with Buddy Mitchell and his team, and they also offer designer services, and you can save 30 to 40, sometimes even half over the big boxes. They have the buying power of the big boxes because they have a buying group, but they also have the benefit of having lower overhead. His warehouse at 52nd and Ward is beautiful, but he does not spend the overhead of these other places and passes on the savings to you. SimplyFloorsInc.com for all the great floor coverings at tremendous savings.
Exactly what the knock sensor does. It's going by real low octane gasoline, and it does back the timing. But it'll also
Let's ask another mechanic.
yeah, it'll
Can
also
we ask another mechanic too, please?
I think Pro Auto would be
Jeff's
better.
good. Let's talk to Pro Auto as well.
Because he's got advertising anyways.
it'll also pick up the knock.
Okay, if he's on the log, I'd like to make this part of it. I don't see him on the log. Yeah, he's on the log. Tell him when I have him on, I'm just going to make this part of the spot as being an expert. Pro Auto.
That knock sensor would have also detected the knock of the rod going bad, Tom. It would have detected the knock of the rod going bad is what the check engine said.
Well, they could have.
So basically, it's the ping. They do it just fine. I didn't know they called a knock sensor. I
Well,
thought
he said they didn't.
It's under the intake manifold.
Well, they have it's there for a reason. It's not just there to make.
They do it just. I do.
It backs your timing down about 4. On GM, it's 4 degrees. I don't know what it
But
is.
once again,
But I don't think they back it down or speed it up enough to ruin an engine. I don't think they can.
No, even if you back it down, it's going to hurt less. I think it was hearing the knock of the rod, and it couldn't correct it enough. Is why light came on. Because it was already
No, I
hearing.
know, but when he replaced the knock sensor, I don't see what he could have done to ruin the engine.
No, I don't either.
A bad knock sensor, they don't vary enough to ruin an engine.
No, 4 degrees of timing isn't enough to
Right,
run a motor.
right. It could run rough and
Well,
stall.
and I'm saying 4 on GM. I don't know what Nissan is, but GM it is because I've got the program. You reprogram those. When you run a supercharger like I do, you got to really turn it up. So back your time, you got even more.
Get another.
Should be able to Google that.
So what are you doing for AD?
Oh, you don't care about
ADSB, yeah, we're doing about ADSB compliance, but we have until 2020.
Oh, yeah, I'm not haven't done anything. Neither planes are flying, so
Doesn't matter.
your new one has to comply now, doesn't it?
It automatically does.
Oh, it did. Oh, cool.
It comes with it. That's why I asked.
Jesus, that's another big savings.
You bought something new?
A little toy.
A really cute little trainer now.
How old are your kids?
Well, I just have son who's 18, but my other boy is 11, and
Is it
Giovanni, he wants to learn to fly.
Yeah, great.
So I bought a little.
When I was little, I wanted to be a Blue Angel, so life took me a
You know-
different path, and here we are, but it's all
You know,
good.
Stephanie had a friend that wanted to be a Blue Angel.
Yeah.
And he was in Pepperdine. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
wanted to get
Malibu?
because he couldn't get she was in Pepperdine, and he couldn't get in the Naval Academy for one reason or another, or didn't have the opportunity or something.
Yeah.
So he graduated and joined officer training. He didn't go to the Naval Academy. He became the chief pilot, the lead pilot for the Blue Angels.
Really?
That was his
Wow,
desire.
like number one. That's awesome. Well, every time I see those F-16s blow over, I'm like, I missed it. You know?
Let me show you, John, right here. This is a little toy.
X15s are just, I got to ride the back seat. God, it goes straight up.
Right in the back of a F-15?
Yeah, a 16.
That's, you guys right in the back of
Yeah, they got some of them.
Yeah.
My wife,
And there's the look at the cockpit though. It's got an autopilot, a parachute, and full glass cockpit. This technology,
Is that one of those that the whole parachute connects to?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I had a Cirrus, brand new, I bought it years ago. It was $650,000. It doesn't have one thing that this is except this is a 2-seater. But this thing is a fraction. Can you imagine the technology they put in these? So do you know how they did it? They took the FAA out. So the new light sport planes do not require FAA.
So would you ask her too what kind of car?
She dropped off. She dropped off
They're
a while ago.
What
And
is
she
that?
must have been having a bad phone.
What does ASTM mean? They're regulated by ASTM.
I can't remember now.
ASTM standards is
the manufacturer.
American something, American standards, specification standard, I don't know, something. Technical. Yeah, it did, and so,
My daughter writes MELs, minimum equivalent stuff, and they're ASTM.
where is it?
Stands for first one.
ASTM stands for American Society for Testing and Materials. So the FAA allowed them to take over the sport, the little sport plane, and therefore the prices went down.
That looks like the screen on my boat now. I'm all radar in.
Cindy is gone. I have no
Oh, really?
idea.
Cool.
I did not call her. She
Garmin
cold called in, so I don't know where
I
she
ain't got a Garmin,
But I got Al. He's set
I'm
to
still
go
gonna
on.
call him. I'm still gonna do it.
Okay.
Which is the cutting edge.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Pro Auto Care, Al Aramis is on to talk about this situation. I wanted to ask as an expert. Al Aramis, you've been around 25 years, 26 years now. You know what you're doing. This woman said her engine light came on. The mechanic said she needed a knock sensor. She spent about $770 to get that done, and an hour later her engine blew. It was rough idling and blew. Is there anything you can do with a knock sensor that would blow the engine? Now, it had 160,000 miles on it. This could be one of those things. But
Yes.
what is your gut?
Okay, so if it's the knock sensor, the reason you're doing the knock sensor is that's the component which retards your timing and controls your fuel, because you don't want NOx in the motor. NOx is what destroys the motor. It's pre-ignition. It's detonation in your cylinders.
And her engine light was on, and he said it needed a knock sensor. So
Right,
what do you
right.
think was
So-
going on?
So if the sensor is bad, it wasn't telling the computer to correct and make the adjustments to really save the engine. That's what that whole purpose of that NOx is. It controls the timing. The timing
Right.
on the
Now-
car is so crucial. Yes,
Can a bad knock sensor ruin an engine?
absolutely.
It can. See? Okay, now that's why we ask different people. We get different opinions. It's not just a warning.
Right. And when you say that the blew the ender, does she know what blew?
No, not it. No.
Yeah, she said rod.
Oh,
Blew a
rod. Rod. Okay, she did.
Through a connecting rod. Okay, so there's no way for a person to know a rod unless it's starting to scream at you and it starts making what they call a rod knock. You'll hear that. If the car comes in with the check engine light and the knock sensor's dead, chances are if that car's been driven and that light's been on, you're probably, a lot of people just see that light and they just keep driving.
But when you when you put the knock sensor in, what could a mechanic do that would cause that? No.
Nothing.
So what you're saying is it was probably the rod was probably going anyway. That's why she got the engine light.
No, the knock sensor was going out, causing issues, weakening the motor. Remember.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So if a car does have knocks, okay, if it's got pre-ignition, it's putting a load against the connecting rod and the connecting rod bearing. That's what you're trying to save. So you typically want to time your timing or the spark to go off just at the right time. If it pre-ignitions because of low octane or whatever it might be, that's what the knock sensor is. It's a microphone listening for that knock, and
Right.
adjusts.
And then it adjusts accordingly.
Exactly. So what it does, it prevents rods from going bad. I don't think this shop, without seeing this car, it's tough to say, but it sure doesn't sound. How are they going to cause an internal engine damage? Impossible. That damage was there.
Okay, what if you put in a bad or a wrong knock sensor? Could it time the engine to where it ruined it?
Well, it would immediately, if you put a wrong one, immediately it would kick a code. Instantly.
Okay.
It's just
All right.
not going to work.
Thank you very much, Al Aramis. Now listen. Speaking of maintenance like this, timing belts. This is a good offer you want to make. What is it?
Well, so many people, you call your show, and luckily we're not hearing as many where people below the timing belt, they were driving down the road, they want to start that car, all of a sudden the belt breaks. The belts will get old and they break on vehicles. They need to be changed. A lot of people buy used cars, they never know. So my deal is this. If you have a 4-cylinder, I'm going to give you $100 off. If you have a 6-cylinder or an 8 that needs a belt, $150 off. This is a real saving on a complete timing belt kit, which includes everything. Call my stores. I'll give you a price, give you the discount, and take great care of you.
Near Evans and I-25, and near Bowles and Santa Fe. And, of course, those listening in the Springs, we have great shops down there as well if you look on our referral list. Now, Al Aramis, Pro Auto Care, 303-PRO-AUTO. His website is 303proauto.com. That's $100 off a 4-cylinder or $150 off a 6 to 8-cylinder for timing belt. You don't know your timing belt's going bad. It doesn't tell you. You don't wait till it breaks, because if you have an interference engine, it ruins your engine. So you have to do it on time. It's based on mileage. So if you buy a used car and you don't know if it's been done and you're approaching 50,000, you have to start thinking about it, because I think they start getting changed at about 60, and on the outside some go as high as 90, depending on the car. That's 303-PRO-AUTO. All right, let's keep going here. We have a common man today. What is a common man? Well, you know, I've said that before, what a common man is. We take people from the great unwashed, and we let them come in here and mingle with us and bask in radio glory. And so Tim is with us, Tim Hola. Is it Hola or Holla?
It's Hola, you pronounce it.
Hola?
So it's Hola.
What kind of name
like
is Hola?
hello in Spanish. It's actually, boy, it was Polish, and it was cut down years ago on the island from my grandpa. I'll never know what it used to be, so, yep.
And anyway, so he's here listening, having fun.
Yep.
And Tim, are you a man of leisure? Do you do anything on your spare time? What do you do?
Oh, boy, I'm pretty athletic. I try to do a lot of running races. I do triathlons in my spare time. Keeps me fit.
Any kind of career or just fun?
Oh, well, I'm in medical sales.
Okay.
So I travel around the city, all through Colorado, Nebraska, Wyoming, and Utah. And,
medical sales like appliances or medicines?
Actually, so medical devices. So I do medical grade compression for patients that have venous disease, patients that have lymphedema, those of that sort. And then we also sell orthopedics as well.
You know, I often wonder how doctors have time to do what they do because of salespeople. Now, I don't mean it's a bad thing, but
sure.
But no, really, from medical devices, orthopedic devices, pharmaceuticals.
Right.
Do you have to make appointments with doctors, of course, obviously, or are there people they designate to do all that?
Great question. So it depends on the doctor's office. Once you build up a relationship, you can just, do a pop-in if they know you and they know your service and they know you're valuable, you can come in.
So once you have a route, so to speak, you just supply them then?
Yeah,
they like
basically
your product.
supply them and then asking for orders, referring them to places who can make purchases and stuff. So I call on some retail places as well, but mainly it's on the clinical side at hospitals.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Yeah,
Tim,
thanks for having me.
Feel free to chime in. What do you think about that woman in her car, 160,000 miles, and knock sensor?
Oh, well, I tell you what, I'm in the middle of selling a 2008 Highlander that's got 200,000 miles on it, and you were talking about timing belts earlier.
You never had it done?
I think I did a little research, and my car has a timing chain, and from what I'm...
Yeah, you don't need it.
And I don't need to do anything, correct?
Right,
yeah,
right.
But I mean, the way I look at it, if a car has 160,000 miles on it, that's a lot of miles on it.
Something's going to go wrong.
So if you're up there, and you're trying to squeeze out, a few more dollars from the mechanic, I mean, gosh, you have to look at what you're working with to begin with.
Who'd you bring with you, Tim? Is this?
This is my wife, Nikki. She came in just to kind of hang out. So,
how you doing?
Long time listener, about 14 years.
So feel free to chime in anytime on any problem if you can get a word in edgewise.
Okay,
so listen, and here's another little trivia thing. People think knock sensor is a knock, because you hear a knock in the engine. Well, coincidentally, it sounds like it's saying knock sensor, but it's saying NOx sensor, which is nitrous. It's a gas sensor. It senses gas. Yeah, it does. It senses nitrogen oxide sensor, NOx sensor. Isn't that what it senses? They told me it was a NOx sensor. A NOx sensor.
That's the emissions thing, a NOx and NOx.
But then we have two NOx sensors.
Right,
oh, really? So there's a NOx sensor, which is a knock, and a NOx sensor, which is an NOx.
Right, the knock one, the ping, it's pinging the engine and stuff.
Well, he said it was a microphone, and a microphone can't sniff out gas, so it must be two different ones.
Right.
So the NOx sensor for the knocking is a literal NOx sensor, and the NOx sensor for the emissions is, well, that's confusing as hell. So you might
NOx,
need
NOx.
Right, no, but you might need two NOx sensors, one for the knocking and one for the gas. All right, now, I don't know what Vinton is commenting on. Vinton, you said you have an opinion on a generator that was stolen. Is this from a previous show?
No, this is, I wanted your opinion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I thought you were commenting. Hold on, Vinton. We'll come right back to you on that, all right?
Okay.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We talked about buy and build. We talked about Simply Floors. Now I'm going to talk about Art of Granite. Today, I want to talk about saving money if you're doing any home improvements. And Art of Granite is the place to call to get a price on the phone. Very seldom will you get a price on the phone. I love it. He's a direct importer of stone, granite. He also does quartz, and that's a new popular countertop material. Whatever he gets on the countertops are wholesale to you. He only charges for fabrication and installation, and then he has a small markup on cabinets direct from the manufacturer. So if you want to save money and you want wholesale countertop material, custom edges, sinks, go to his showroom in Golden. And before you even go there, call him. Give them some measurements and a photo or two and get a price. Go out to the showroom, pick specifics. You can get in 1 to 4 weeks from the time you visit him. So it's pretty quick. Art of Granite, open Monday through Saturday, 303-386-5919. It was 7 days a week. He is now closed on Sunday, so it's Monday through Saturday. artofgranite.net, 303-386-5919. Ideal Home Loans for your next.
It is, and on top of that, now you got 4 O2 sensors on a lot of cars.
The emissions one.
Bank 1, Bank 2, before the cat and after the cat. Is the NOx actually oxygen sensor?
I thought they were just oxygen sensors, but they do measure NOx. When
No, they definitely measure, because we had a person call and couldn't get her car done because her NOx sensor was out, and I thought it was NOx, and they said, no, it's NOx. And then that was what got me confused.
Yeah, and it sounds exactly the same.
Yes.
And is the NO also, is that also the oxygen sensor, the NOx?
Yeah, I've always heard just an oxygen sensor.
Yeah. NOx.
Look up NOx sensor.
Key. The NOx is the oxygen sensor, nitrogen oxide.
Too much excitement all the time.
35 minutes
There's probably several different. They put several different oxygen sensors.
Do you have a job outside?
Yeah, if you got a V6, for instance, there's your Bank 1, Bank 2,
And then maybe
and then after the cat. And that way, then you've got to play right now, so you got before and after.
It's all good.
And then
Thanks.
and then some of the oxygen sensors are heated, have heating elements in them.
Go out to that, the elevator's right out that door, right at the end. Take a right. Okay.
We can help. And now is the time. I've done right. We offer only.
So 760 and 850 are all on this.
And that knocks.
Yes,
Knock.
yes, always here, and then
always
760.
under
And then
the
on the
intake.
third floor, we have all the other.
Not the intake, it'd be the exhaust.
The knock, not knocks.
Oh, you're right.
The knock sensor is underneath the intake manifold. I don't know why they put it there. It's really hard to get to.
You have our word. We'll treat you right. It's done right.
Well, what I don't understand is it listens and then adjusts and then listens again.
It's listening for that. You've heard things. It's not getting.
Yeah, I've heard those.
That rattle.
Yeah,
that you hear on top. It's listening for that. That frequency.
Just pre-ignition, so they advance it.
I had to learn how to actually program this, Tom, when I did my truck. Do all new programming, because when you put a blower on, it throws everything out the window.
For a 3-room area, that's $109 for pre-treatment, cleaning, and sanitizing.
Like the map sensor, when you do a blower, you're up into pressures that aren't normal.
Zero-Res uses empowered water, a patented process that gives water superior cleaning properties. I've experienced the Zero-Res cleaning in my home. I encourage you to call.
So they're saying the NOx is
really
the oxygen.
carpets with Zero-Res. 303-471-5150. 471-5150.
So is that playing for your 11-year-old or?
Both 11 and 18.
They're both
On my referral list.
And then I'll have fun with it, but
As a small business owner, your
yeah, they're cute. They're really small. And the only reason I got it is it goes back a long way from when I inherited that stupid car, and then that car I traded for 2 Mercedes, and then the second Mercedes we never used, and it sat there losing about $10,000 a year.
Did you get that sold? Did you get that sold?
I had the wholesale. I couldn't find anybody. I've seen people going in and spending
Today
for
is
the
the
same
day you
car
break the stranglehold of addiction. You and your
$100,000.
family can't lose another precious day to this horrible disease. If you or someone you know is abusing alcohol, prescription
So I
drugs,
had to
hard
wholesale,
illegal
but
drugs,
they
or
gave
if
me
it's a
nothing to
mental
get this.
health issue,
Do you think
anxiety,
it's because
depression, or
it's
trauma
people have
related to substance
financing or
abuse, please know
something?
you're
They
not
could have
alone.
financed
There's
it
help.
through
Call the
Blinker.
Raleigh
I had
House
it on
today.
Blinker.
They've established a
I don't
special
know.
number to
I don't know
advise
why either. I talked to a guy and he bought a new one, and I said, you're paying 20, 30,000 more than that.
And you're losing all 20 or 30 of that the moment you drive it.
My wife and I always buy a car that's 1 year old.
I said, I took the hit. I mean, that thing retailed for $120.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't believe it.
I saw it. There was that big sedan you had.
Yeah.
God, that was a beautiful
I only drove it just so I wouldn't sit there. But I literally put personally only 600 miles on it. So I bought it, it went out.
It would look like a $120,000 car.
Yeah, and so I hate cars. I just hate them. They are literally, it's literally burning money for the first year. Why? Leasing is the smartest thing in the world with a car. Leasing. It really is.
For business.
For me.
Why is that?
I drive too many damn miles.
Oh.
I'm like 30 grand a year in miles.
So you sell your car. How often do you change cars?
I put about $1.25 on one, and I'll generally start looking around for a new one. I don't generally buy new cars. I did this time because I got rid of my a Lexus and a truck at the same time.
You can't win. The car game is just—it's a terrible thing.
No, it is. But I buy used, and I buy with 20,000 miles on them, and then I put another 100 on them and sell them and do it all over.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I do.
That's the best range for money.
John Fuller's with us, attorney at law. I hope you never need him, and I also hope you don't need Joe Lazzara. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. You hear me talk about it a lot. And Joe is a good guy, and you know, he never encourages drinking and driving. Do you know, with the Super Bowl, he says his phone rings off the hook. Why? Because people are at people's houses and they're drinking, or at bars, and they go home after the Super Bowl, and cops are waiting for them. Some people try to calculate what they're going to drink. Others just boldly drink. Whatever it is, Joe Lazzara is an attorney to get you through the system. Sometimes you're just flat out guilty or stupid. Sometimes, you know, you might be falsely accused or on the edge. Whatever it is, to get through that system or any other criminal justice procedure. Joseph A. Lazzara, 303-429-6200. Look for Lazzara Legal or Joseph Lazzara on my referral list at referralist.com. John Fuller is with us from Fuller Law, and this email asks, when you hear people they say call and find out what your case is worth, what does that mean? What does it mean? Do you know when somebody calls? What really, you hear that all? I hear that in ads. Call and find out what your case is worth. Now, obviously, to me that sounds like a come on to get the phone to ring, right? But how long does it take to find out what a case is worth? And again, it doesn't matter what it's worth if you can't collect. So there's so many moving parts.
So many variables there, Tom.
What's the case worth?
It is absolutely and utterly impossible for, in the majority of cases, for any attorney to tell you specifically what a case is worth.
In a phone call.
In a phone call, without any review of the medical records, the bills, any understanding of the totality of the damages and the permanency of those damages, if any, the amount of insurance that's on the table. I mean, in a couple of cases here and there, you know immediately that it's going to be a policy limits case, and there's nothing else
policy limits, because there's no one else to go after, right?
Short of that, I mean, the ultimate value of a case is what a jury says that case is worth, and at its very best, it is a wild guess. So don't be misled by attorneys that claim to be able to tell you exactly what your case is worth on the very first day of the first phone call.
But you can tell if it's worth pursuing or not.
Well, certainly, yeah. That's a much easier question to answer, and that comes down to, were you injured? If you were injured and you're going to require some medical care, and those medical doctors are going to expect to get paid, and you're going to be out of pocket from your own pocket for stuff that you didn't cause.
And then also, of course, let's say someone does not have a lot of money, they don't make money, they don't have assets, and they have a policy that's minimum.
So that happens all the time.
And Tom, it's worth what the policy is.
I get clients all the time that finally admit to me that their biggest reluctance about calling an attorney is they don't want to get in a situation where they come up short on money, where the medical bills and the attorney fees and all that stuff use all the available proceeds and they come out with nothing.
Right.
And that's not happened in one case in 16 years that I've been doing this, because we manage these cases right from the beginning.
Right.
We keep our eye on the prize to where we don't get overinvested.
But if it's not worth it, you tell them that.
Well, of course. There's no incentive for me to get involved in a case that's not going to work out.
We've had a lot of people who call here that after 3 years their attorney says, or after 2.5, they say it's not worth it. And because what they did, it's called an intake farm. They intake, hoping to find the gem. That's what they're doing.
And maybe that's different in my firm,
like
but I sit down with every client.
Yeah.
We don't take, listen, we know what we do and we do it well. We don't take cases that are outside of our bailiwick, if you will. But
the point is that you can't find out what a case is worth in a phone call. You're more likely to find out, if you should pursue more or not. I mean, it's not that easy. Vinton, you want our opinion on this? Go ahead. What's happening, Vinton?
You're familiar with the app Nextdoor that you can get?
Yes.
People's. Okay.
Yes.
So they have a lot of times people list stuff for sale.
Yeah.
We bought a generator from a guy that had it listed on Nextdoor. Purchased it from him last Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. Went to a place in town that was doing a supporter buy a dinner and support the Fallen Officers Fund.
Okay.
Within an hour, we came back. The tonneau cover on my truck was slit and the generator was gone.
Jeez.
Is it just coincidence, or is it my gut feeling telling me that it just seems a little bit too hinky that...
Do you think the seller came and got it back?
Yeah, because he told my wife when we were originally going back and forth about purchasing this that he could not believe the response that he got for this particular generator.
So you think he keeps stealing it and reselling it?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
It sounds crazy, but I mean, listen, who knows? Did the guy know where you were going?
Well, yeah, the thing was is we were standing there and we were a little dressed up, and he said, you guys look like you're going to church, and I said, no, we're going to this place, and
did he ask the address? Did he ask any details?
Well, it's right there in town. It was in the town of Parker, and so I picked my wife up at the park and ride. We weren't like at his house.
And how would they? This is what gets me. Somebody has to know what's in there, because I mean, why would somebody slit a tunnel cover?
Well, that's the thing, and somebody.
Unless you can you see inside it?
No, you can't see inside it. The tunnel cover's over, and I had locked the tailgate, so.
Wow.
My wife had said to me prior to getting out, should we put it in the truck or just? And I said, no, I'll just lock the.
How big is it?
The generator?
Yeah.
Well, it's 47 pounds. It's not very heavy.
Okay, it's not a giant one. A little workplace generator.
Oh yeah, it's just we bought it for our trailer, to charge the battery or whatever.
John, what do you think? That sounds very coincidental because it's in a locked tunnel cover. Unless they were just cutting them open to see what's in there, but that's weird.
Listen, when I buy anything off Craigslist or Nextdoor or anything like that, I mean, I document the heck out of that purchase. I get the guy's name and address and serial numbers and all that stuff. Now, that would be the first place that I would send the cops to go look for my generator, would be the guy that I just bought it from a few minutes before. Did you make a police report?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the thing about it that makes it so weird is because I started looking, there's a pawn shop in Parker, maybe, if somebody did take it. And, the idea maybe it was just a random thing, but there were other vehicles on the street where we had parked that were untouched. It was just mine.
That's too weird. I agree with you. There's something weird. It doesn't feel good. I mean, of all the cars there, yours was cut open and it was taken. Now, maybe it wasn't him, but somebody who knew you bought it from him, or he told somebody. I hate to ask a question like I'm going to ask right now. Did he seem shady?
I was just going to ask that.
I don't even know what that means, but our common man was thinking it, so I know that means other people are thinking it. So, did he seem shady?
No, that's the thing. He seemed like we live out in the country, so he's not far from where I live. I mean, I could probably find his house from, the address that's on Nextdoor and all that, because you can pull up a Jeep.
Well, I was going to ask, did you happen to confront him? Did you go back and say, hey, and call him out on it?
Did you?
That could be kind of dangerous, though. But
yeah.
What I did was, because he didn't have the original paperwork for the instruction manual.
Yeah.
So I told him I needed that, and then after this got stolen, I told him I need a serial number. The policeman wants a serial number in case it shows up at a pawn shop. Then
you don't even have the serial number written down yet.
No.
That's bad for you, because if this guy shows up with another one, where did he say he got it?
Well, he said he bought it a couple of years ago for himself. So
from some guy in a
listen,
that sounds sketchy.
I wouldn't let the guy know you suspect him, but I would tell the police what you're suspecting. That's all I can. Now, if somebody else has a suggestion, and you wanted my opinion is yes, you have a reason to be suspicious. If you have a specific question, hang on. But because I have to move on. And Rocky's Autos is at 63rd and Federal. If you're looking for a used car, truck, SUV, or van, Rocky's really is a great place because they're very seasonal. That doesn't mean they don't have out-of-season vehicles. They do, like four-wheel drives all year and stuff, and coupes, in the winter. But they are really appropriate to the climate and to conditions, and that's why they stock up a bunch of things. I used to love seeing all the little Hummers they got up there, and they have four-wheel drives and Jeeps. They don't last long. But if you're looking for an SUV or four-wheel, they especially try to meet your needs, or front-wheel drives right now. They have a large selection. You can walk the lot, 63rd Federal, ride around in a golf cart, whatever you want, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 8. And Rockies can arrange financing. They have 40 lenders to choose from, 303-426-4646.
Ton on Craigslist and Nextdoor. And the thing is, like,
I'd be watching Craigslist,
right?
OfferUp, and I'd be watching.
I mean, once you sell it, what can you do? Nothing. can't prove that.
Hey, John.
Is that app? It's called Nextdoor.
Yeah, and I started using it when I started selling my car, but I still have a lot.
So how different is that than Craigslist?
Well, I think the draw is that it's more of your neighborhood. It's local. So there's an element of more trust there, I think. But you're still it's still random. But there's no way you can prove that he took it. Yeah, I have twin boys are 11.
Burned down 74.
11 to 73. Are they identical?
So
they're fraternal.
we can't find the other lady.
I told them they're very
alike.
No, they're very
born in Mexico, but they don't. Mexico won't issue her a birth certificate.
Yeah, 4 minutes apart.
She doesn't have a birth certificate.
Do they look like?
Within her, how to get
very, very different.
I heard a
The
district
fifth grade teacher said they were going to put on your show at 10. She said they want to hear Connor's dad talk. So
I would probably reach out to an immigration attorney.
Is there a cost to that Nextdoor app?
No, it's all free.
How do they make their money? Advertising here?
There's no like subscription on the internet. But when I was selling my car, who I bought it from, he recommended if you're going to sell it, go on Nextdoor because there's an element of trust and it's just another place to reach people.
I would sell on Blinkers. Blinkers is the best.
I haven't been with that, so you mentioned that.
For ours.
Really?
They take
You're
care
charged
of
for that?
I don't know. No.
They keep security.
Well, that's the biggest thing. That's where they make their money is by financing. Hopefully, both
There's no charge even if the person doesn't.
There's no charge.
So if somebody wants to buy my car and I set up secret, would I get cash from that from whoever buys it?
It doesn't matter. They
Is it all through like
ACHs, but they take care of it. You just sit there.
Okay.
They will tell you what to sign, when to sign it. They transfer the funds. They verify all of that.
Okay.
They verify that guy's bank account. They verify his identity. They verify everything, his license. So you don't have to meet him and take a check. You can meet him to show him the car, but that's it. No money. If he says I want to buy it,
is done
if he says
outside.
I want to buy it here, no.
Yeah.
You go on Blinker and get it.
Okay.
And it protects you.
I bought some high-end stuff on the internet where, like, I bought a $5,000 road bike on the internet. And it's one of these deals where it's like, I ordered this
I
bike.
sell a lot of
Road bike. You mean a motorcycle or
No, a bike.
Are you crazy? Are you a crazy person? $5,000?
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
I own one that's 8.
Is it carbon fiber? Like, can you pick it up like you twirl it?
How do you know what's
light
brand?
I can't think of a brand. My wife has the same brand of road bike and mountain bike.
They're great mates.
You go and be
They're very strong.
I mean, they're expensive
fast.
though, but you got components and stuff that are super
Electronic
high-end and
components.
stuff.
So it's all electronic shifting. Is yours?
Come on, electronic
Yeah.
shifting
Yeah.
now?
Yeah, DI2. Just right.
Wait a minute. Not
Yeah,
that
you push a
quick.
button. You push a button and it goes click, 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 click all the way in the back. And in the
Do you
front.
have electric windows in your car?
I never thought of bicycles as being tech.
Cannondale. My wife had Cannondale.
Cannondale's cute, specialized, all those.
Yeah, it's one of these deals
But
that the
her
guy
Cannondale for
man ordered
$5,000.
his bike,
She goes in and they have a
and
fitting.
it
Because
came
women are
in
much
and
shorter in
it was
arms.
like a half-inch
The frame is way different on a girl's
and
bike.
reordering it. I mean, brand new from Trek.
Yeah.
And it's on Craigslist. And I'm just like,
Something sketchy there.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. So was it easy on a team? Did you get it
No,
free?
he didn't. That's the whole thing. He didn't want on a pro deal or anything. So,
Can you get Mark Wachowski on, please?
Can I verify she's not there? Like, it's good, it's all good, and no problem. But I only paid like.
Get Mark Wachowski budget A1 on about the
So you bargained him down.
Yeah.
Was he a biker?
That'll
Like,
help you not get a fight. What are you doing here? Are you adding or taking? What are you adding?
So,
Wow.
highly suspicious,
And
but
do
what
your
you're
tries.
brand new, like a brand new 15.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a.
So it's got that new-
So is that guy the coach for Philly, the guy with the big beard, looks like Jerry Garcia?
No, he's the defensive coach for the Patriots. Dark black beard.
Yeah,
Defensive coach
Jerry
for the
Garcia.
yeah, defensive coach for
Were you
Patriots.
So I live out
They're probably going to another team.
north of the airport, east of Brighton. Okay, the roads are horrible. out
Colfax you could ride.
there.
Watkins,
I'm way up
Bennett.
in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Daphne, Budget A1 had a good comment. If you want to get Mark Machowski on, he had a good comment on that.
You got it.
303-713-TALK. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center for tinnitus. I'm answering this email. They want to know the one I use. Now, I do not have the new smartphone compatible ones. Mine has a little control unit, but I hardly ever use it. I just set it and forget it, as they say, as Ron Popeil used to say about the whatever he was selling. This is the dehydrator. You set it and forget it, right? Anyway, so Colorado Tinnitus, they have these smartphone adapter, not adapter, but they're made for smartphones, so you control it all through a smartphone. You can take phone calls with your hearing aids. Helpforringing.com. They do help with tinnitus and with hearing loss. What I like about Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center is it's a free trial period with no obligation. Call to find out more. 303-534-0163, 303-534-0163, helpforringing.com. Okay, so let's talk. I want to take people who have been waiting, like right here, Bill. Hey, Bill, what's going on with you, Bill?
Hey, good morning, Tom.
What's happening?
Well, back in June, I had a guy come over and give me a bid to do my roof and put in a new skylight and stucco and put in gutters, paint the fence.
Is this Red Hill Construction I have some paperwork on?
Yes.
Okay, what's this handwritten stuff here where you signed it?
That, I thought, was the contract that I made up.
You made this up. It's just handwritten. It says 3 weeks, house and roof, paint, 30 grand, gutters, 500, paint, sheds, skylight, glass, stucco on house, gutters, fence, roof. Then it says something else. It says start July 13th, 3 to 4 weeks, $100 per day after 4th week if not done. Anyway, it was a good attempt, but why didn't he have his own contract? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Right, and he signed this here, right?
Yes.
Okay, and who was Barb that witnessed this?
That's my wife.
All right. So what's going on with this? What's the bottom line?
Well, he's 128 days over, and he's still not done.
Yeah. So by your math, he owes you money.
Yes.
Well, you know, it's not going to work. You understand that, right?
No.
That's what they would call unconscionable. No one's going to hold him responsible for 100. John Fuller, do you think somebody's going to say, well, sir, you signed this $100 a day after 4th week, you're going to owe him $100 a day? I think they would call that unconscionable. I would think they would say, sir, you're getting value. Well, let me ask you. Let me ask you straight up. Do you expect this contractor to finish the job and pay you $100 a day?
Yes.
Okay. Then you have a good time doing that, because there's no way that I can help you get that. Okay? So how much do you figure he owes you right now?
Well, it was 128 days over, and then I'm going to give him, a few weeks for rain and holidays.
Okay, so let's just say 120 days times 100. Okay, so you want him to take $12,000 off the job. First of all, this contract.
How much was the whole job?
The whole job was $38,500.
It says $30,500 here.
That was, we had more damage.
Well, where's that written? Where's that written?
That is not in there.
Well, then why doesn't he say that's going to cost another $50,000? There's nothing. Listen, if you want to be technical, if it's not written that it's another $8,000, he can call it another $12,000. Who's going to hold him to the $8,000 if you're going to demand $12,000? What I'm saying is the whole thing is jacked. Now, I know you didn't call me for bad news, Bill, but this is a contract. What do you think?
I don't think it's unconscionable.
I think okay.
I mean, for a $40,000 contract, you're
now he's saying it's $38,000. This contractor did extra work, and he said it's that much money. We'll talk about it coming back.
Student loans, car loans.
No, I don't, but I believe it's going to be part of a negotiation. Like we do this shit all the time, where we have on ERISA plans and stuff, and we try to see up to get the ERISA plan, and the damn statute says $100 a day.
But what I'm saying is, this contract is...
So here's what's going to happen. Eventually, the contractor's just going to walk away and say, screw you.
Right.
I mean, it's not by itself illegal or unconscionable.
It's a scope of work. This contract's not legal. It's not, according to the state of Colorado, this is an illegal contract anyway. So he relieved the guy. This guy was supposed to have a state-approved contract to begin with. So there's no 3-day right to resist. Listen, if it's good for him, it's good for the other.
Yeah.
Because with that, oh no, it's not a roofing contract. It's not. Why does it say house and roof? Because it's not, then he doesn't need a state of mind contract. Or it does say roof, but
Mark is not available to change.
I mean, it's an agreement, you still have to enforce it, but I mean, would it hold up in court?
okay.
Is that okay?
You know?
Yeah, but I want to make sure he knows what Mark wrote, because
I think it's worth it.
otherwise,
You're not just gonna walk away, and you're gonna have
Mark
to go
wrote
sue
this,
him,
and after having him on, instead of say, you go read that to Shane, just so he knows what Mark, that's the only reason I have him on, because Mark had that perspective.
Great big front wheel, little tiny back wheel.
Oh, yeah? You mean like the 1880?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mine's an 1892 Victor.
It says 5,000. So here's the other thing. He's saying the contract is now 38,000. Who says it is?
now that had to be a change that wasn't incorporated.
So how did you
Which means that change is
ride in
not
the back
valid,
there?
which means probably this whole thing.
Who did you
My
know?
wife and I build hangars for a living.
Yeah.
For Range Airport, we have 67 hangars. That's one way I know Tom.
Oh, my kids are in the Young Eagles program.
Oh, and the other,
Yeah.
okay, we were part of that too.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to call
Rudy
the contractor.
Denise, you know that name? He runs the program. He's out at Front Range a lot. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I know his name,
Clay,
but I
could you
can't.
call this contractor?
Yeah.
Here, right now. Let's try to do it. Red Hill Construction. Here it is. Bill McGowan. Here it is. I'm going to give you this part of the sheet. Here.
Bill McGowan is the contractor or the
contractor?
This guy, you know what? Homeowners like that, shove it up your ass. You know, $100 a day. Listen, I understand penalty clauses, but that is unconscionable. And I don't think, I could never see a judge say, yes, sir, you're going to owe him $100 a day. After fourth week, okay, start July 13th. Did it start? And it says 3 to 4 weeks, if not done with all projects.
I didn't have Mark's cell number.
Does that include the extra work?
What kind
See,
of
that's
car?
the thing. And how much time does he get for the extra
What
work?
kind of car is it again?
Do you
remember?
From Knox Center?
Yeah.
She never said.
It's yes, it's a Nissan, 2000 Nissan,
2000.
with 160,000 miles.
I'm getting screwed over right now by a pool contractor down in Florida.
It's an Xterra, an Xterra. What's that?
Who no shit is in fucking jail.
Who? You are?
This pool, no, I'm in your studio, dude. I'm getting screwed over by a pool contractor down there in
That's what
Florida,
I asked.
who's actually in jail right now for screwing over some other people. He's not completing my pool because he's presently occupied by
The jail.
the jail.
Incarcerated.
So did you pay him up front?
Half.
Damn it, John, don't you listen to the show?
You need that phone number for Red Hill? No.
Call him in jail.
Ask him. He's on line. Then get off the phone though, so I can talk to him. But he's on line 4.
What do they have to do your pool, like reroute it or something?
Or refinish the fiberglass pool. So, it's a big mess of a job, but
It's a fiberglass pool. And what is he doing?
so fiberglass pools will eventually undergo this osmosis effect where the water goes through the gel coat, gets into the fiberglass, and it blisters up. It makes it like chicken pox of the pool after like 20 years. And then they have to be ground down, and all the gel pox have to be fiberglass back in, and the whole thing gets sanded and sealed and primed, and then you can put one of a number of different products. Nowadays, mostly an epoxy-based deal because epoxy doesn't allow the water to go through like gel coat does.
I loved it. When I had the pools that I've had, oh no, I had one gun, I inherited it. But the one I built was liner. God, is it beautiful. So smooth and soft. Your feet are that. And then guess what? You can change the son of a bitch in 10 years, and it's like new. And it doesn't cost much to change. It's such a great system. And
I don't know that they do liner pools down there. I've never heard of them doing it.
Well, you probably can't do steps on a liner, can you?
Yeah, you do everything you can, but they're
It's just sand underneath them.
But they have a hard form, and then the line. I forget how they did it, but it's really beautiful and it works. Oh no, I know what it was. It's a ladder. Never mind. You're right. They don't build like the regular steps. At least mine did. I guess they could, but it's it had those ladders that hang over. and attach.
I promise you, if you shop
But I'm telling you, they're so nice.
I think you can puncture them easier than what other
I bet you could. I bet you could.
303.
They're stronger than you might think.
No, I agree. They're
But,
nice. I like
you know, they're not like trash bags, but man, they're really pretty too. And you can get beautiful designs, and it takes a, if you cover them, it doesn't fade much.
The issue down there, the biggest issue is they're scared to death to drain those pools.
And the water table.
Oh, because they'll pop up?
Yep. Or a big damn rip will pop up in the middle of your
Yeah,
pool.
yeah,
I never thought of that, but
That, when you're going sometimes down below the water table.
Like 2 feet above sea level.
Are you, what city are you in?
I'm down in the Keys.
So how many?
Almirada.
But not Key West.
Yeah, we've been in the Keys a lot.
So John, how do they put them in if the water table's like that?
They
How-
pump those bastards out as they're putting them in.
Really?
Holy
So they
crap.
just dig around there and have some
Wait a
pumps?
minute. How do you do gunite and keep it pumped away and dry enough?
They do a negative pressure system once they get the drain built.
Call 720-613-5500 or online at jcdodgeconstruction.com. Get a licensed plumber or HVAC tech in your home for just $39. A safe,
That must be art in itself.
What's that?
That must be an art in itself.
It's just crazy shit that you would never think of, and you know, so and the water goes up and down with the tides.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But even still, the water that's under my pool is fresh water. It's not salt water.
So it's
all-
just, so the tides just put pressure on it, so it's
Yeah.
just like it
Yeah.
doesn't come in. The other thing,
There's
you
not
try to
tide.
pump it off, suck it in, you could bring in salt water.
Tom Martino, the
Troubleshooter. Hi, Tom Martino here. This hour brought to you by Centeno Schultz Stem Cell Therapy Clinic. We are solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. I see you all. Ray wants to talk about a repossessed car. Sherry wants to talk about Bank of America and an account and an unauthorized wire transfer. Dylan wants to talk about YouTube and copyright notices. Bill wants to talk about a roofer that didn't finish a job, and he's penalizing him. And then we have an expert on from Budget A1 Transmission and Auto Repair. Centeno Schultz, Dr. Chris Centeno. He was the first doctor in America to do stem cell therapy in a clinical setting, and Centeno Schultz has been going strong for many, many years. They have 14,000 patients in their data bank that they have treated successfully for knees, hips, back, shoulder, hands. Most ACL tears they can fix. If you are looking for stem cell therapy, I urge you to go to MDs with guided injections through imagery, registered nurses, and avoid places that ship in amniotic fluids and call them stem cells. They are not living stem cells. If you want living stem cells, the only current way to do that right now is to harvest them from you at the office at the time. So, Centeno Schultz, investigate, get an evaluation. What I like about that clinic, if you're not candidate for stem cell, they will suggest other therapies because they are docs and they have PRP and other therapies. 303-963-9201. 303-963-9201. Centeno Schultz, also known as Regenix. Now, we have a discussion here about a contract. This guy, he made up a contract, and it says 3 weeks house and roof. What does that mean? It says paint, dash, 30,000. Gutters, dash, 500. 30,500. It says paint, sheds, skylight, glass, stucco on house, gutters, fence, roof. Then it says start July 13th, 3 or 4 weeks, $100 per day after 4th week. Now, here's what it says. $100 a day after 4th week if not done with all projects. Who pays who $100? That's all it says. It doesn't say contractor pays consumer. It says $100 per day after 4th week if not done with all projects. Now, since this was drawn up by the homeowner, this roofer or this contractor could argue that it should be construed against him, which in law, if somebody makes up a contract without input from the other side, it's construed against them. This contractor could say, oh, I thought I get $100 more per day because it wasn't done and it's taking me longer than I thought. There's no way for Bill to argue that. Also, Bill says he wants that $12,000 penalty, growing $100 a day, taken off from the $30,500. Well, no, he said $38,000. Who's to say it's 38? It says 30. He says there was some extra work, and it was $8,000. So the contractor can say, oh, that $8,000 worth of extra work is really $25,000. It's not 8. Show me where I said it's 8,000. Or he could say, it took me longer because there is extra work. What I'm getting at is, when you try to play attorney and make your own contract, you're only screwing yourself, because this is not an enforceable contract, in my opinion. It is so full of holes that I don't even see how you could possibly get it enforced. Does that mean I don't think Bill has a good case? I'd love to help Bill with his problem. I'd love to help him get his job done. What I'm not going to do is try to go to this contractor and have him take $12,000 off of this job, unless Bill wants to take the consequence of the other way around, of this guy saying the extra work's going to be way more, or it took me more time. And again, it's not even clear who pays who $100. It says, start July 13, 2017, 3 or 4 weeks. $100 per day after 4th week, if not done with all projects. I could very well argue, you know what? If this job is so complicated, it takes me longer, I'm getting the $100 a day as the contractor. So that's the point. When I say it's unconscionable, what I mean is, you're crazy if you think you can enforce this. And I think John Fuller Law's with us today, personal injury attorney, sitting in on the show. He said, when you have situations like this, what ends up happening is the contractor just walks because there's no way to solve it. You know, because if he finishes the job, you're not going to pay him. So we have a problem, Bill. You're not going to get this guy to come back under these circumstances. What do you want? That's the point. How much of the job is done?
Just about all of it. He has, the inspector's been out 3 times and was here Saturday and went over the job with him and told him he had to come back and redo some of it.
Is he willing to do that? Is he willing to do that?
Yes.
Good. Where's the hang-up? Why are you calling if it's almost done?
Well, it's taken him 128 days to do it, and when he first proposed the contract to me,
well, you wrote it.
All three of us sat down, and I made this up and told him that he wanted 2 weeks, and I said, okay, I want.
Listen, Bill, this doesn't matter, because a judge doesn't want to hear. If you show him this contract, this is your contract. And it doesn't show any input from him other than his signature. It's your handwriting. So you can say that you all sat down and negotiated, and here's all he has to say is, that's not true. And here's the other thing. This $100 a day, what if he claims you're supposed to pay him that $100 a day? Where does it say in this contract that he pays you?
Right, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. There's a lot of holes in this contract.
But I have a contractor's license affidavit that was notarized, and a
contractor's what?
License affidavit?
What does that mean?
Just says Lost Draft Services contractor license affidavit, and it was notarized, and it was $38,500.
But what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. What is an affidavit for a contract? What are you talking about? What is it? A bond?
It's just what my insurance company needed.
Okay. And he what? Signed it and notarized it?
Yes.
Okay. What, for $38,000 what?
$500.
Okay. Your contract says $30,000.
Yes.
Okay. So why does it say $38,000?
Well, as they got into the job and tore the roof off.
The point I'm making, Bill, is that your contract doesn't reflect the job. Your contract has holes in it. Your contract, in my opinion, is not valid. You know, you're supposed to have a scope of work in here. First of all, it says gutters, fence, and roof. What does he do to the gutters, fence, and roof? Does he change the roof out? Is he going to give you a new roof?
That's what he was supposed to.
A new roof. So yes. He's a roofer?
Yes. and a
It
stucco.
doesn't say a new roof. It doesn't. It says paint. I could say it's painting the roof. It says paint, sheds, skylight, stucco on house, gutters, fence, and roof. I could say I was supposed to paint that. I wasn't supposed to replace the roof. You're lucky he did what he did. I don't know why you're trying to hit this guy up for 12 grand. Did it damage you that it took that long? Did you lose $12,000?
No.
Do you think it's fair? I mean, I'm asking you. I'm not preaching to you. I'm asking your opinion. Do you think it's fair because it took longer to charge this guy 12 grand?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, you know, he would come at 10 o'clock in the morning. They'd leave at 2
So
to
what?
3.
So what? You got it done.
It's not done.
What do you mean? Okay, he has some finish, but if he finishes it, you're proposing to take $38,500 and subtract. It'll be about 14 grand by the time he gets done. So you're expecting him to subtract 14 grand. He's not going to do it.
Probably not,
and I'm not going to call him, and I'm not going to say you better get this fixed and subtract 14 grand, because I don't think you have a valid contract. And listen, I would say the same thing to him if he came to me with this cockamamie contract. This contract, if it's a roofing contract, was this an insurance job, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that if in an insurance contract, if the price increases and it's not written on the contract, it invalidates your contract? Did you know that?
No.
If the price changes, it invalidates the contract. Now, technically, that's made for the consumer's protection. I mean, not for the roofer's protection. But I don't see why he couldn't use that law. Also, if it's a roofing contract for insurance, it's supposed to have a 3-day right to rescind, again, for your protection. But it's weird. I think this guy could say this is not a legal contract, but that's his fault. He was supposed to present you with a legal contract. Is he licensed?
Yes, I believe so. It says that
he had to if he got a permit.
If he supplied that affidavit of license or something.
This
probably.
guy, listen. This guy actually is the one in trouble because he's a licensed contractor. He didn't do anything right. He let you write the contract. And the contract is wrong, especially if you say he offered his input into this contract. The contract is not approved for the state of Colorado. In this particular case, as crazy as it sounds, that actually helps this guy. It actually is helping him, because normally it's for the consumer's protection that they have a certain kind of contract. But this guy could simply say, you know what, I did an invalid contract. Throw the book at me, because I don't think his fine would be anywhere near 12 grand.
But he's still got the right to put a lien on your property if you don't pay him for the services.
Oh, he sure will, for the whole amount.
For the whole entire amount. And your insurance company is not going to allow that.
Now, we're not giving you...
I have paid him everything.
You didn't take the 12 grand off?
No, because he kept getting a draw. Like his first draw was $5,000.
So how much did you pay him in total? I don't have to do the math. I'll believe you.
$38,500.
Okay, you did pay him. Then I will fight for you. You should get your job 100% done. And then what you can do is sue him for the extra money for the penalty. Maybe you'll win, or take it to small claims court and sue him for $7,500 or something. Did you talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him, and according to them...
What did he say, Clint?
I talked to Edgar, and real poor communication. He's really hard to listen to. But
why is that?
He just
accent?
doesn't speak. Yeah, accent, real thick accent.
Okay.
But he's claiming they haven't been paid everything. He said they had a problem with the... they had a permit problem because the valuation was only $6,000 when the... I've got it here. When the...
insurance?
In the county came out, it didn't match with their... They had problems with that. They had problems with him hiring people, his own people, hourly.
Did you hire your own people?
They would not come back and finish the stucco, so I hired another guy.
Did you keep track of that, Bill? Because this guy should make good for you on that.
Yes, I've kept track of that.
Good. So what's the bottom line? We want this job done. Is he willing to finish it, Clint?
He said he'd have it done before Saturday.
Okay, if he has it done, now the problem is going to be final payment. What should it be? You have a right, Bill, if you hired people to do and he didn't have to do it, you should subtract that from what you owe him. And as far as the penalty, I wouldn't do that now. I would pay him everything minus the extra labor you paid for, and then I would go after him for the penalty to see what a judge says about it. John, would you do something like that? We're not giving you legal advice because we don't know the situation.
I mean, I think that's the safest route to
Yeah.
go, Tom, because the guy's going to put a lien on your property if you don't pay him. You're better off trying to enforce your delay penalty after the fact, and at least you've got clean hands in the court to be able to say you lived up to your end of the deal. This guy did not.
Let's talk to our common man. That's why we have a common man. That's John Fuller, by the way, our expert today on personal injury and other things. Fuller Law. Tim, quickly, Tim Hull, our common man. If you were listening to this, what would you say?
I would just say, basically, I don't think that contract would pull much weight into court, and I would say it wouldn't hold up.
All right, we have more. We have more coming up. Budget A1 transmission and auto repair. Shane is on. He's going to weigh in on that timing belt issue. Coming right back.
Okay, but he should still subtract it because he did. It was subtracted.
Does this guy sound unreasonable or what? He sounds like a pushover to sign this contract.
This Edgar, I don't know, Tom. His accent, and I usually understand those accents very well.
Is it what kind of an accent?
It's Hispanic accent. It's real Spanish. I've got a couple of them that work for him, and I understand almost everything they say. And this guy was really having trouble with. But he said he was claiming they haven't been paid everything.
So he's got 38,000.
He said he paid 38.5 already.
This guy says not.
I don't think this caller's a liar. He doesn't sound like a liar to me.
I don't know. This guy says no. They've never been paid for materials, and they've never been paid for.
Oh, it is.
I don't know.
For insurance.
I don't know. It's a mess.
Listen, Dan, what was the ruling on that? I don't remember.
Which one? There is a contract.
This landlord has 7 units. Can he deny someone with an emotional? It's not on the call screener. It's an email. Can he deny someone an emotional support animal? I believe that you can deny emotional support, but not
physical, not a service dog.
You're right, Tom. That's correct.
But I didn't think you could ask him what type of dog it was.
No, in Colorado there was something. The guy said there's tighter standards for landlords. Okay, we'll have to get someone to answer this. I don't know. Those are all
I know they just passed a law.
You know, it's so easy. Just get the damn dog registered for a service animal and start it in training. It can be in training. Doesn't have to be trained. It can be in training. And then you pass. This is, you have to get the part of this.
See, so is that a viable company, the roofer?
Yeah, they've got a,
For not doing a contract.
Do they have history to reviews?
I don't know.
He could get the whole thing thrown out.
He said they got the biggest battle with the building department. The building department come out and saw what all they were doing, and the guy only put a valuation of $6,000 on the whole job.
Who's
the owner only put a valuation when he went and got the permit, only put a valuation of $6,000.
Oh, so the owner went and got his own permit?
Yeah, he got his permit.
Oh, this
using
guy's
their thing.
See, that what I said on the radio was wrong, because I said he had a been licensed if he got a permit.
Well, no, they got a copy of his license. The guy was really hard to understand, but that's what this guy was going on about. They were delayed by the building department until they straightened out that.
Oh, I see. So you put 6,000 on there.
Evaluation. The building department came out and said, obviously there's some more than 6,000. You need to fix the permit. So that's how we do it.
I'm taking the small claims court for cheap.
But that's this guy. The permits are always done by the state contract.
Take his chances, you know.
I don't know. It depends on who you believe. But you're two different stories.
Because there's a cost to it, and they can charge that permit cost to the insurance company.
I know. So why would the contractor lower the amount?
So anyway, where I live, I don't really like riding.
The contractor's going to get it from the insurance company.
It
roads
sounds
are
like
such poor quality.
Most
Most of them don't have sides on. You know, you've got 3
wait,
inches
what
on
does
the
the permit
outside
say?
of the white line.
Isn't there? You got the permit.
Yeah, and you got cars that
Yeah, I got
cattle trucks. And
Oh, this is just. Oh, there. Yep.
I don't know what it
You
is.
really kind of take your life into your own hands. And
So are you off like 76, like out there in that part of Brighton? Okay.
So you would think that this is unreasonable just from listening. I'm not talking about the contract.
Yeah, I mean,
you think it's no. If you just heard it at home, the guy had something that says $100 a day. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think you hit it head on with all the
Why don't they have their own form?
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I don't get that. Why they didn't. Any kind of contractor at all, they have their own form.
But people do put that in there for like.
I mean, what I would have done, if I was him, if I was the homeowner, I would have probably
Start to ask about those
at least
bikes,
Google
how we got
to
over
get
the passes.
some sort of organized template that shows more than that than
Oh,
just
I think you
download,
started asking
and
me
then print out
about
something. That's what
putting
they did for my bill of sale for one of my cars. Is that way it's a
They
little bit more
actually, the structure, kind of a middle
more
gear
organized
on that
rather than
wheel.
just handwritten. Because
They
handwritten,
ride, the very big wheel,
and there's so many
hard
holes,
rubber,
like you said.
they ride
That's
smooth,
my-
so
that's my-
smoother than anything you ever rode in your life.
But if I was a judge, I'd be
Being
like,
right over the
forget it.
wheel with no chain, with no
The guy could
loss
just
of
say no,
friction,
that's it.
it really is more efficient than a regular bicycle. But that said, going up the passes, Wolf Creek and Loveland, we had to walk them. But we were walking up those passes fast as a lot of those people on mountain bikes were spinning,
Because they have that third sprocket in there.
Yeah, they were going about 1,000 miles an hour. We were walking just as fast as they were.
Yeah.
Walking them up. It's going downhill. It's dangerous.
Oh yeah. Then when you get cars whizzing by.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
Shooter 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. Let's go to the phones. We got a lot to talk about. Absolute radon safety is something that comes up quite a bit that I need you to know about. First of all, not everyone has a problem, and it's almost never has to be addressed unless you have really high concentrations. But when you go to buy or sell, it could come to haunt you no matter what. So if you are worried about radon, and that's an odorless, invisible gas that usually happens in crawl spaces and basements, Absolute Radon Safety can test for, the tests are very inexpensive, and they can get expensive if you want to get really detailed. But you call them for an inexpensive test. And then here's the thing to take all the fear out. If you need mitigation, about 90% of the cases cost less than $1,000, like $8.99, to totally mitigate the radon and make it safe again, or safe according to the government. Okay, and the Colorado Department of Health estimates about half of the houses might have elevated levels. Give them a call, 303-880-0682. It's the company we know and trust. They won't lie to you. They won't exaggerate. And the systems are just $8.99 to mitigate if you need it. 303-880-0682. Absolute Radon Safety. Okay, so Shane, we have at Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair, we have a quick question here. We want a comment from you too. We got one from Budget A1. We got, from Pro Auto. We got one from Kimmer Transmission. The bottom line is this: she had 160,000 miles on this and had an engine light. The engine light was on. She takes it in. The guy says you need a knock sensor. He changes out the knock sensor. So an hour later, she says the car's running rough. And I think later that day, it died, and the engine blew. It blew a rod. Can that guy who changed the knock sensor be blamed for that, in your opinion?
In my opinion, no, because a knock sensor is, the only reason a knock sensor is there is it picks up vibration of the motor.
Yep.
Anything abnormal in the motor, it picks up that vibration and it throws a knock sensor code to let you know there's something wrong.
Gotcha.
So
it doesn't sound like changing that knock sensor would blow the engine. It sounds like something was happening before.
Exactly. That's why the knock sensor light came on, or the code for the knock sensor came on, is because it detected something else going on in the motor.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And what's the worst a bad knock sensor does to a car?
Basically, it throws the check engine light, and usually what happens is when the knock sensor comes on, the knock sensor sends a signal to the computer and then allows it to advance or retard timing.
All right. So that's Shane at Budget A1 Transmission Auto Repair. That's home of the famous $189 plus parts. They'll fix about 85 to 90.
89.
Oh, I'm sorry, not 180. Wait.
Yeah,
no, it's 89. It's
right.
only 89. You're
Yep.
right, plus parts. Thank you for correcting me. $89 plus parts. 85% of the problems they figure they can fix. And if not, you don't pay a dime. So they're not going to trick you, but they will give you a full written report as to why it's more. So it's $89 plus parts, 303-781-9858. They're on Santa Fe, just south of Dartmouth. Budget A1 Transmission, also on our referral list, referrallist.com. Okay, so let's keep going here. Sherry, what's going on with you, Sherry? Welcome. Sherry,
Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, this is quite a story.
What is it?
Okay, try to do it quickly. I was on Facebook Messenger, and someone captured a photo that I had actually posted, and
Yeah.
it was about my new position becoming a broker of a real estate company.
Okay.
And it said the wow emoji. Wow, Sherry. It was a friend of mine. So I was like, cool, she's congratulating me on my new job. So I touched it, and within 15 minutes, I was receiving 200 emails every 15 seconds
What?
And
wait, the wow emoji, you clicked on the wow emoji?
I clicked on no, it was a picture of my post with the wow emoji saying, wow, Sherry, congratulations.
So why did you click on it?
Oh, well, it's in my messenger from a friend of mine.
I see. You wanted to read the rest of it. I got you. You wanted to read the rest of it.
Right.
Okay.
But she was congratulating me.
So what happened? Was that some kind of a link?
Well, here's what happened. And other people were getting this, and I actually got another one from somebody this week, and I'm the only one who started getting all those emails. And in those emails from my Bank of America, it said, congratulations, your $2,000 wire transfer is complete. Now, you know those phishing things where you don't have a bank account at Chase and they say, please enter your...
Yes.
Okay. So I called my computer guy, and this was from my cell phone that I touched this Facebook thing. Called my computer guy, freaking out, and he goes, you lost your email address. You can never use it again. It's 20 years old. I'm sorry. He goes, it's like having your phone number. Then he goes, build email so you can keep track of everything. He said, but you don't click on anything. Can you hear me?
What did he say happened, though, Sherry? I'm still confused as to what happened.
But he said, don't click on anything, but monitor your email if you want so you can see who you're billing and you're connected to, blah, blah, type.
And by the way, was there really a $2,000 wire transfer?
Well, here's the thing. Now, in retrospect, I should have checked, but I thought it was a scam. So I was afraid to click that link to go to Bank of America, and then they would capture my stuff.
Yeah.
Well, 2 days later, I go in that bank account where I had set aside that money to pay a contractor, and guess what?
The money's gone.
$1,000 was wired to Fatik, Anna Alper, and Bank of America was closed, their fraud department, over the weekend, so I had to wait till Monday. They opened a case, and they investigated it for 3 weeks, and I kept saying...
They should restore the money. My bank would restore the money in a heartbeat if it was unauthorized.
Correct, but they're saying I'm still logging into that from the same device I must have authorized the wire. Now, I am extremely intelligent. I've never wired money from my cell phone. I don't even know how to. I'm sure I could figure it out.
And where was it, Sherry, where was it wired, this money?
To Fatik Anna Alpa.
Fatik Anna.
Fatik.
So it's a person, it's not a company.
Listen, Sherry, I never knew it would be possible by hitting one link, that you could wire.
That could be a coincidence.
Huh?
That could be a coincidence, but why did I get 5,000 emails? They signed me up for everything. Congratulations for joining this. Congratulations for joining that. So I'm wondering if that was just a smoke screen to hide the email from Bank of America.
That sounds
so
good.
I would ignore it like
it absolutely could be. Now, somehow, though, to wire, they need a PIN number.
Correct.
Because I do wire money, and you need a PIN number. And by the way, folks, my PIN number is 1111. So if you don't use that, you can't do it. And
correct.
And my bank happens to be Bank of America too, 1111.
Okay, but here's the second part of the story.
Yes.
I work in customer service. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have been on the phone with them. I've been on hold for an hour and a half every time I speak to them. I went to the branch. And
well, what's the latest? Did they put the money back in your account?
Negative. It's been a month.
You see,
they're saying it's my fault.
I was joking about Bank of America having an account there. I hate Bank of America. They suck. And they're really, Bank of America really is Bank of Italy. They became Bank of America years ago, and there's nothing American about them, in my opinion. They have the worst customer service, the worst that you could ever imagine, and why anyone would use them, because my bank would never, any one of my banks would never, ever, ever wait this long. The money would be back in. Because they can tell if it's unauthorized. What device did they say is authorized it? Just tell them.
They're saying it's the same device that I keep logging into, and that's my cell phone. Not even my computer. By the way, everything's changed now. I have locked passwords. I have two-step authentication. I didn't even know that account you could take the wiring permission off, so now none of my accounts you can't wire. I've never wired money out of an account. So I took that
Why
off.
do they say it's your fault? You didn't do anything. It's not your fault. How do they say it's your fault?
They said the only way you could wire money from that device was just what you said, that they would have that password. And in a letter, they said in the future, please don't give your password out to anyone.
Have you?
Of course not.
Why did they say that? Sherry.
I don't know, and I'm not here to think I'm not lying.
The person,
I'm not making it up.
I believe you. The person that was wired this, did you look her up? Or him?
They investigated it. Here's the thing. I heard you say about a police report before. I didn't even fill out a police report at first. I was hysterical, but I wasn't worried. This is FDIC insured. This happens all the time to people.
This Fatik person, where is Fatik?
They don't know. And the police told me when I did file a report, if they're not in the county that I live in, and they're not in the United States, there's nothing they can do.
That's true.
And they said it's up to the bank.
But the bank can do something.
Call me back
the bank can yank. They can yank that wire back.
They won't.
That's wrong.
This is why I can't believe, and I promise you there is no more to the story where I know you're thinking.
No, I'm not thinking anything. I totally believe you. I believe you.
This is it.
No,
Okay,
we're gonna call Bank of America and see what their policy is, because I think everyone listening should not have an account at Bank of America if that's the case. You absolutely should close your account at Bank of America, because if what Sherry is saying is true, you are not protected. If you get hacked, they will do nothing to help you. Is that the message we're getting? Yes. So we're going to call and verify that. We're going to verify that, okay, Clint? Let's do that. Let's call and verify it. And I think it absolutely sucks. The Raleigh House is a premier treatment center for addiction. But here's the deal. I'm going to give you a number that will ring into the Raleigh House, but it's not to enroll, it's not a sales job, it's for nothing but information. And when I say nothing but, that's really all you need. When it comes to addiction, information is the #1 thing families need. If you found some drugs in your kid's room, if you found something in your husband's briefcase, or if you found something in your wife's glove compartment, and if you're scared, give these people a call. They can walk you through it. They can help you determine if there is an addiction. They can help you approach the person. They can help you find treatment. And there are plenty of treatment options, and the Raleigh House is certainly one wonderful one. But this is not a sales job. This is for true information from a caring, loving staff. They'll tell you what it costs, where to go, well, if insurance pays, what other options are available. They'll tell you how to determine if there's a problem, how to approach the addict in your life. If you have a million questions, they have a million answers. 720-893-5559. Very important that you take the first step, because addiction never gets better without some kind of help. 720-893-5559.
I don't know how this could happen, but I see with technology now, I'm not putting it past it, but this is a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare just to get that first wire transfer going. You got to add they take a lot of precautions in there. But she's never wire transfer before. And anytime you do a wire transfer, you usually get an email saying, hey, such and such.
Confirmation or
right,
something.
Right.
More than $39 to get a complete honest.
I guarantee I wouldn't have an account at Bank of America at this point.
I got stock in Bank of America. Don't talk about it. Don't talk negative.
So did she click on that? I didn't catch what she was clicking on.
She thought it was a message from her friend.
Oh, and then it just immediately
$39.
Apparently this wow emoji must be something that when it's there, I don't know, she should ask her friend, did you put this in there?
Yeah. Did you go back to that person and say, maybe she had the same thing done to her, right? And it just kind of, the email just
kept on going.
Yeah, right.
And she said she had, what, 500 emails or something?
Every 15 minutes? Like, what is that?
Yeah, do you know this personal injury attorney, David Rapture?
Eileen talks about her experience with 3-day kitchen and bath.
Oh no, Gary Robb. Gary Robb is the attorney. Robb.
Oh, for that
$100 million. Now, obviously, he only collects what he collects, right? So this is it's a structured settlement of some kind. Because they'll hire somebody to try to structure this. So does the attorney have to take a structure? I mean, how does that work?
But a lot of times they will. I mean, for a number like this,
yeah. He's making $30 million. If he went to court, so he's making more. He could be making half of that. Right?
so my friends got a verdict in that range. And it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, it came back down, but ultimately it got settled. And it got settled for probably 3/4 of that. Okay, still big enough, you know. But the guy was, you know, tragically injured. He's a quadriplegic, you know. He has nothing for the 4 years or so that this goes through this process, and then, you know, eventually they're like, hell, the finality of it. Like, I'll just have to scrimp and get by, you know. And so that's kind of how they deal with these things. They drag them out forever. They'll post the bonds. They won't just write the check. That's the downside of it, you know. This thing can hold on another 4 years probably. And then they just up and win on one of their appeals and it starts all over again. I mean, you never know. Is it a settlement or a verdict? It's a settlement. We'll receive $100 million cash settlement.
Oh,
So if that's a settlement,
holy shit,
getting paid.
Oh my God! So that attorney truly can retire.
I would. It wouldn't take that number to get me to retire. I'm ready to do it tomorrow.
No, but you know, a PI attorney once told me that he is one case from retirement. Just
right.
when if that case comes, it may never come. No, they dream of cases like this, but then you have to have the skill to go after it.
Oh yeah, you know, not just any old Yahoo can handle that.
Right. Would you feel compelled to bring on help if you had something like this? I mean, not professional witnesses. I mean, help.
Yeah.
Counsel too.
Yeah. I'm just little old me. You're a one-man show. I have done that. I've got a buddy in one of the big firms downtown. He's a phone call away, and I can have the infantry's coming over the hill, folks. Just wait a minute, you know. Now it'll cost me a big chunk of that.
But it's not for lack of skill; it's for lack of time, and you have to devote your entire practice to it.
10 lawyers up on me, I can be overwhelmed very quickly.
Of course.
You know. But if I bring a firm down that's got another 30 lawyers in there, and we're, you know, I mean, I don't need anybody's help financially, but, you know, back in my earlier days, I had a big case that walked in the door, and it was against a big, huge commercial insurance company, and I brought a buddy of mine on, you know, and he came in the door. This was right after I opened my firm. He put up about 60 grand in costs that I could have strung up, but didn't have to because he offered to do it. And I cut him in for a percentage of it. And we got the case settled for more probably than I would have been able to do.
Here's the deal. You don't understand how much it costs an attorney to cost. They have to put out a shitload of money.
Dan, did I just jack that light
no,
up?
but you jacked it up.
You're fine. You're fine.
So what I do is I go right to where it turns on. I love it. Right there is great.
Hear about it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the theory was on this helicopter. What's the deal? The tank ruptured and it shouldn't have, or?
It's a plastic tank and they knew about it and they didn't do anything. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of helicopters like that.
Really?
And they're all going to be changing.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Ray, oh man. I hope to goodness we have Ray's number because it's disconnected. He waited a long time. Ray, if you're listening right now, 303-MARTINO, call right now. And don't take another call from anyone but Ray at 303-MARTINO. 303-627-8466. Ray, call 303-MARTINO right now and we'll clear that line for you. Because you got disconnected, and I think it was a mistake on Daphne's part. I'm just kidding, Daphne. Sherry, what's happening, Sherry? Oh, I'm sorry. We're back to you, Sherry. So now, Sherry, listen. Here's what we've been talking about. We are going to try to intercede on this, but and I can't believe if you are an account holder for $2,000 that they would hold you up like this. And here's the bad news. We may not be able to get your $2,000 back, but what we can do is we can tell everyone to remove their money. And I think if they hear from enough people closing their accounts, they might do something. Because, Sherry, this is unbelievable to me, that if you're a victim of a scam, that they would not put your money in there. Capital One has a saying that you have 100% protection against fraud. They bend over backwards to restore your money. We also had fraud happen to us at Vectra Bank, and they helped us. Now they were a little weird to deal with, but they restored the money. And I'm just saying that this is wrong, Sherry, and I know you feel it. Did you close your account? Is she there? I don't know if she's there. Anyway, Sherry, I think Clint was talking to you, but we'll move on. Now, Ray. Go ahead, Ray. What's happening?
Hi, Mr. Marcino.
What's going on?
My call. Well, I purchased a car about 3 years ago.
Yes.
From a dealership and made the payments religiously. Full disclosure, I had credit problems. I had to go to one of those dealerships on Federal, but I made my payments religiously. Within 10 months of paying the car off, I ran into a few problems, and I have to also give a kudos to the folks at Raleigh House. They helped me with my son's addiction problem.
Oh, that's very good.
So I ran into a problem where I was behind on some bills, but my payment to the car finance company was never more than 30 days late. But
that technically doesn't matter. If you have more than one of those, they're definitely going to repossess the car. So let's get, rather than trying to justify why they should not repossess it, let's talk about what happened after they repossessed it.
Okay. Well, it was repossessed, and
what kind of car are we talking about?
It was a 2006 Pontiac Grand Prix.
Okay, and what's going on with it?
Well, I found out through trying to clean up my credit to make sure I'm back on track with all my bills now, that the finance company is reporting me as being more than 180 days late on my credit report. But the car was repossessed, like I said, several months ago, back in...
So, you know, just for your information, whether it's showing repossessed or 180 days late, it's not doing any more harm to your credit. They're both bad.
I understand. Trust me, I understand. But I guess I was just questioning, they never sent me a deficiency on the payment of the account. And according to the gentleman I spoke with, he said that the car, when they repossessed it from my home while I was not home, and it was in perfect driving condition. It was better than when I bought it. But they're saying that they can't sell it, that it's, according to his notes, the mechanic is saying will not start, needs extensive repairs, and they want me to pay $1,300 to settle this account so that my...
How much did you owe on this left?
About $2,300, $2,400.
Okay, so they're making a 50% offer. I think that's fair. I mean, if listen, were you going to keep the car after you paid it off?
Yeah, I was going to keep it because I
then why don't you ask him to just redo this and let you keep it, and you'll start making payments again?
They won't. He says that the only way that they'll settle with me is to pay it off in full with that compromise offer, but they're going to keep it.
Now, you know, you can always, and I don't know what your financial situation is, but there's always bankruptcy. I mean, and that's the, obviously, I don't throw that out lightly. That's if you're in a lot of trouble. But bankruptcy.
No, I'm not in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
I've been trying to do the honorable thing and pay off all my debts. And not,
then listen. And by the way, I understand what you're saying about honorable, but sometimes people get in trouble and they can't. So that's the only reason I mention that. You're right. If you can do a settlement, then why don't you just pay it? You're answering your own question. So what are you calling about, really, if they offered you a settlement?
Well, I guess that's what I was calling about, the fact that they're still reporting me to the credit bureau.
But then they still will. And once you make that settlement, they'll report it for the next 7 years.
Okay.
I mean, they really will. They really will. I mean, they're not going to take it off.
I understand that they're not going to take it off. It's just the fact that I haven't had the car. I was under the impression that it was sold by now.
Let's put it this way. What if they had, instead of that, what if they show repossessed and a deficiency? Do you think that's any better?
No, I don't. But if they had shown repossessed and a deficiency, I would have made every effort by now to pay that deficiency.
But it would still show that. It's just going to show repossessed. Is what I'm saying is, it's a no factor. It's a non-factor. I mean, there's some technicality that you care about that doesn't make a lick of difference on your credit. Really, it doesn't. It makes no difference at all. It's terrible. Sherry.
Yes, sir.
So I have to take this break, but we're going to go to the bank and we're going to try to deal with them. If this was Wells Fargo or another bank, we've been successful in dealing with this stuff. Bank of America's stubborn, and that's why we're going to urge people to withdraw their money. They should just do away with this bank. It's bad when they do this. And I talked about bankruptcy. I would recommend that guy talk to Wink and Wink if you had a problem, or if you do. They can do 13s where they structure debt too, or Chapter 7s. 303-410-1720. winkandwink.com, and it should always be your last resort, absolutely. And they'd be happy to talk to you about debt settlement. 303-410-1720, winkandwink.com.
From the L&L Heating and
My question is, why don't they restore the money while investigating? How can fraud be the consumer's fault under what circumstance? I mean, she didn't put her password, but I want to know how. I want to know how they did it.
And they wouldn't give her
one
any of that.
click of a message. I don't know how that could happen. I swear to God.
And that's the big thing, they wouldn't give her what happened, where
I
it
think
went,
it's
or
really
anything like
clever
that.
malware, because by putting all those other emails in there.
No, that part. But how do you wire money? I have to go through shit to wire money. I have to put down accounts and routing and passwords, pins.
They probably just, well, I don't know.
It's something clever.
They truly did a wire.
I have to put in 1111, and I have to put in my secret
Why do
word,
you-
and I have to do all that.
Hey, remember the secret word for the plumb line thing? Somebody just asked for it. He says, what is that secret word? Shenanigans?
Serendipity.
I know, that's I said it.
For an extra $200 off.
I've done extensive research, which led me to Centennial Clinic right here in Colorado. They're internationally
Now there's got, and she said there's not more to it, so, but they wouldn't even go over the investigation. That's what's really bad. They wouldn't.
So I deal and fix it 24/7.
You're talking about Sherry?
Sure.
Yeah. They do have a media relations person. So I usually have good luck finding those people.
Like I say, I thought they would at least went over it, says, we have it,
It's not
they should know what device it came from,
No
and
big
did they
deal.
use it,
Okay,
and told her the password you wasn't used.
You know, when I call these big companies, I always get hold of the person's first day is tomorrow.
But it is on there, right?
I called somebody the other day. I told them that, that basically we're working on some investigative reporter to find something. She says, well, this is a recording. I hung up on her. I said, no. I called back. I said, no, it's not a recording. I said, reporter. She goes, oh, this is a recording again. And I hung up the second time.
I don't. We're just holding. I don't know what we're doing with Sherry right now. I just wanted her to make sure we have her number and stuff. Right now, we're just waiting to hear on Sherry. We don't have anything to tell her.
We have a return number.
Bank of America sucks. Oh my God, do they suck?
You don't think I'll get hold of the media relations?
No. You're not going to be able to do anything with her account.
Oh, I know. I'm going to have to give them a hypothetical. What happens when this happens?
But Sherry would have to give her
Permission.
information.
Yeah.
Here, let me get her on the other line. Can
Yeah.
you hear?
Yeah.
Is it not just a me when I try to do that? And it doesn't work.
So $100 million settlement. They must have felt they were at risk for a shitload.
You know what I've heard?
But how does a man swallow his burn over 90%?
I've heard when those giant settlements come out like that, it's not a good thing for you because it takes years to negotiate
This
that
is
damn
a settlement already.
I know, but
A cash settlement.
How long?
It's already done.
It's not.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a cash settlement. They settled.
Probably a couple of years. Yes, maybe 3 years.
If it was a judgment, it
Yeah.
takes years to get them to pay.
Yeah,
They
that's what I'm
were
saying.
probably
It's a
right up
judgment
against
that
the
high,
trial
you're
date, so
screwed.
everything has been done. All the discovery and depositions have been done. And they were probably right up against the trial date. So they've done all the due diligence that they could do to fight these people off.
Did it come down from something? Does it say, did it come down from 200 million to 100 million?
Is this a
Settlement.
paramedic, a doctor that's
So
burnt,
it's,
or somebody fairly important?
It was a settlement right before trial.
Okay, so it's right before trial, so usually they come down and negotiate, right? Say, okay, it was 150, they'll sign off on those 100.
John, who's that person that testifies as to their earning ability and all that? The economist or economics?
Professor or expert or economist.
Because obviously this person must have been either a doctor or a paramedic or something to probably get, or do you think it's just,
Well, you've got
just the injury?
there's no way you can dissect that just by hearing that number. What was it? Was it exemplary damages? Was it, economics? It had to be a big economics number. But the life care plan for somebody that's burned over 100% of their body is going to be an enormous figure, So it's got to be a whole shit ton of economics.
I know all these things come into
That's all well and good, but there's only so much pain and suffering you can get. That's capped. Okay? So you hear a big number like that, it's got to be economic. Yeah.
By how much? A percent?
436 and some change.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Welcome to Colorado.
It's the first I've ever heard of that.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. Any garage door problem, One Clear Choice Doors. And yes, they go all the way to Colorado Springs. And you will never go wrong with One Clear Choice. They even do free inspections, safety tune-ups, lubrications, hinge bolt tightening. If you mention Martino, they want to be your garage door company. And they have new openers starting at just $333. 303-565-6409. 565-6409, OneClearChoiceDoors.com. Dylan has a question, and I hope he's still there. Sorry, Dylan, on YouTube and YouTube copyright. We run into that once in a while when we do bumper music on the show. If it runs too long, we actually get a notice from YouTube about our stream of the radio show. Go ahead, sir.
So, well, I've got just kind of a gaming channel, I live stream games, that sort of thing. But
sure.
But yeah, so I've gotten 2 of those copyright notices, and I just didn't know how to dispute it. And it says, maybe you should, see an attorney before you dispute it. But I didn't know if it was fair use.
Well, I'll explain it if you tell me what the situation is.
Okay, so for example, one game, depending on like what server you pick, there's a load-in screen, and people put their own music on that or whatever. So it's basically nothing that I've actually put on the stream. It's just, while I'm streaming it, it just happens to be there, basically no fault of my own. So I didn't know, I didn't know how that.
Have you gotten a copyright notice, that you're violating?
Yeah, I've gotten 2 of them.
Okay.
One was, I think they're both from I think one's like a record label and one's something else.
Let me tell you what fair use is, okay? Fair use is if you're talking about a friend that you had named Jude, and you played Hey Jude, a few seconds of it, and say, that reminds me of my friend Jude, and then you start talking about Jude. Or you're talking about the Beatles or the Beach Boys, and you play one of their songs. There's a lot of good vibrations when you think about the old days and the Beach Boys, and that song's playing in the background a little bit. It's congruent with what you're talking about. It's fair use. It's not fair use when you use it to enhance your product, like you're doing a video, or you have a shot. You have shots or video of you playing a game, and then Born to Be Wild is playing in the background, or whatever song. That's not fair use. It's used to enhance. You're using someone else's artistic ability to enhance what you're doing. So you can only use intellectual property for fair use when it's about that intellectual property or it has something to do with it. You see what I mean?
My thing was how do I dispute it, though, because it's not actually something I put in. It's something that, like if, it's basically like I clicked on something and somebody else has it playing, or if somebody...
Well, if you're online,
live,
here's what I'm saying. If you're online and you're streaming yourself playing a game, and you go to someone's Minecraft server, and when you click into their server, they have music playing, you are violating it because you're rebroadcasting it. It doesn't matter if you're sourcing it. It doesn't matter if you're the one playing it. You are violating it. If a person has took videotape of a U2 concert and they have it on their channel, and you take video of me listening to their channel, and then I publish that video, I am still violating it. It's like passing on a bad check. I'm violating it. It doesn't matter that you're second in the chain. It doesn't matter that you're the one that recorded it.
Okay, so should I just edit it out? Maybe
yes, you have to. You have to.
I have to
and even
go back and.
You have to edit it out technically. Even in fair use, you can't use too much of it in fair use. So it's really weird, but the only reason I know about it is because of all my years in radio and TV. I used to use clips for my shows, but you have to do it the right way, or you have to own the rights. If you own the rights, you can do anything you want with it. So, but if you don't own, and many of these libraries, if you go and buy the rights, they let you use it unlimited if you're not selling something. If you're doing something, you could argue yours is just a free channel. It's not expensive to buy music soundtracks. Otherwise, what you have to do is license it for commercial use, which can get expensive. I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. We have an hour to go. Stick around. I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan.
Under that fair use thing.
No, we pay the rights for it.
Oh, we're paying the rights for that, okay.
Yeah.
So John, you know about
We have a
nicknames.
music library.
Apparently the bulldog has died, so that thing you could use that.
Oh, he didn't die.
I thought they were.
No, the bulldog, he didn't die. He had a stroke. The
Oh, is that
cadaver.
what it was?
The cadaver.
Oh,
He was
okay.
almost.
I thought somebody said that he had died.
He was damn near dead when I met him.
He's not a healthy puppy.
His skin was falling off, right?
Speaking of, during the Super Bowl, my son calls to tell me my ex-wife passed away. So I got to go down to Phoenix.
Some people would be elated to hear that news.
Well,
not so much.
She's my son's mother.
That's why everybody's quiet. We're all like,
she's my son's mother.
It's really too bad.
She was really, really hard to get along with. Really hard for everybody, the whole family. I mean, she's always been really,
No, I'm good.
really tough. So for my son, it's just this mixed emotion thing because he's had to take care. She's had cancer for 7 years. Oh wow. She's been living in his house for 7 years taking care of her.
Oh wow.
So it's been a long road for him.
Lisa, today's slide follows a drop of 665 points in the Dow on Friday. Investors are worried that we're
down another 4.5
big
today.
bump
Did
in
that?
the road for the 9-year bull
1,000
market.
points in 2 days.
What a correction.
Report was strong, indicating employers added 200,000.
You know, I look at that, and they said it was jobs report because the jobs report was good, but salary went up.
Right.
That's it.
You know what? There's
That's
so much
bad news.
bullshit out there. People don't know have a fucking clue what makes the stock market go up or down. You know?
That's exactly right.
But then on the same level,
I do.
there's so much disinformation and bullshit on the news out there. Do you remember we just had a rocket go up with a new satellite that just happened to disappear and went off track, and they were like, oh darn, and you didn't hear another word about it, right? Bullshit, okay? You don't lose billion-dollar satellites up there. And then yesterday, SpaceX launched a new billion-dollar rocket just to do a test ride and see how things are. I'm like,
No.
Just to test it?
just to test it out. I'm like,
I don't think you launch a $1 billion rocket just to test it.
stupid do you have to be?
No,
You know, it's like, come on.
we got so many secret satellites up there that.
But that was put on the rocket, that private rocket, space.
Right, but then they were like, yeah, we lost it, sorry.
Elon Musk, right?
Yes, yes.
Remember that airliner that disappeared? That was a Korean airliner or what?
Oh, that Malaysia?
Malaysian
Yeah,
airliner
yeah.
disappeared.
Did they?
Like 390.
There was all kinds of secret satellite tracking of that plane.
No, of course.
That they know it was flying for hours.
Yeah.
What's that?
That Malaysian plane that disappeared, secret satellites.
Oh,
Yeah. There were satellites.
They hired that private company out of.
When you said it disappeared, they never found it?
No, they still haven't found it, but they were talking about all these satellites, they're secret.
When I came back from getting Kleenex, all the lines were dropped. So
Every one of them?
every one of them, it was blank when I got in there. I was like, oh.
Every once in a while, Suzanne will go on and say, we'll get right to you. If they're waiting a long time.
Oh, no, I do. And I do pop in, but I'm just, it was
You
like,
think something happened?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
There were
Okay.
3 calls, they're all gone. So.
Good job, Dad.
And you were out of the room, they were talking about all these satellites that they're sending up that they say they don't know what's going on with them.
Well, I see a lot of black helicopters following me.
Under the vapor trail?
I actually have a black helicopter.
Yeah.
So if you know somebody paranoid, send me over there. Blow the fucking mind. Say, I don't believe any black helicopters ever watch you. I'll be over their house.
As your pictures are falling off the wall, you know.
We should scare somebody.
Well, you got that guy down in Douglas County that kept freaking out Mark and Suzanne, and remember the guy that was essentially cleaning the black helicopters?
Oh, they got to say that tinfoil on his windows and stuff.
You should have buzzed his ass.
I had a neighbor call the sheriff's department because I was flying my drone from my house. I got a drone. I'm just learning how to fly it, so it's not leaving my backyard. And a neighbor called the police on me.
You know,
oh really?
We had we were flying in over the gun range, and a guy in the helicopter, and a guy put a shotgun up, kidding around, and I was taking lessons at the time, and my instructor went and called the feds, and they arrested him, and they fined him a lot of money.
You know, was this gun range? Cherry Creek?
Just aiming, or he said he was just having fun. The guys, because they were shooting. Yeah. There's a gun club right there. We come.
Cherry Creek?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he went like this, and Clint got Clay. Clay got his color vest where he was, because we're in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And then he landed. I didn't know it. He was pissed. And he said, no shit, they do lasers or guns or anything.
They did that to your helicopter.
Jimmy Johnson got shot down.
So we were in the helicopter. I was taking a lesson. I didn't pay
You were low enough that he could see the person?
Oh yeah, because we're coming low, but he was watching. He always, you know, when the Suze is flying, he's looking all over, not just that. And we're coming in, and then he saw that. He didn't tell me because he didn't want to freak me out. And then when he landed, he went and he said, "Some asshole." They arrested him. Yes, they did. They arrested him. They absolutely arrested him.
Jimmy Johnson actually got shot down.
And he went to court and was fined. And I think, if I remember, it was like $50,000 or something.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm serious. It was a big fine. Now he may not have paid that. I remember it being a big deal, and I thought, Jesus Christ, I could sue the guy that's swung around, but you can't.
No shotguns at helicopter.
I mean, they don't tolerate that in airplanes.
You shoot at a bird out there.
He actually got shot down.
That's the one where those two girls went killed
about a year ago.
Somebody shot it.
But also the
Went
shotgun
to the
range
motor
out there.
and a fragment went in his
But
leg.
you know, they got birds flying over.
Kickbox.
No, but out there.
Yeah,
His place,
his neighbor.
You're out
over his neighbor's house had marijuana growing.
You know what? Did he have marijuana?
He didn't have a fucking pilot's license, so he was afraid to call the sheriff.
I'm feeling down, and I do appreciate you.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. We have a lot going on this hour. We got John Fuller, Fuller Law, personal injury attorney. We have a common man in, and he is Tim Hola. We have our gang solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints. This hour brought to you by Ideal Home Loans for your next Ideal Home Loan. And we're going to get to the phones. Now, what I want to tell you is we had something go wrong, and we had all the lines drop. So Julie's on now with mineral rights. I know a lot about that. If you have any questions for John Fuller, Fuller Law, or any kind of problem, question, or complaint, you can assuredly get right on at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255 right now. Let's talk to Brent Ivinson at Ideal Home Loans, because here's what's going on. Are refis slowing down? Yes, because people are making a mistake. They're thinking, oh, rates are going up. Yes, they are. But don't stop, because there's still low rates. People don't understand that a move in rate can only be a few bucks a month, and Ideal has the they have the interest rate guarantee where they'll refinance you over the next 2 years if they go back down. Brent, do refis make sense?
Well, it does. You know, here's what you got to look at. Here's the great thing about this. The math doesn't lie, and you can take a very practical approach to this process. You have to look at what is it costing you and factor in payment that you're going to get to skip, escrow refunds you're going to get, so you come up with a net closing cost number, and then look at how much you're saving, and that gives you a break even. That's the number of months you're going to need to stay there. And typically what we're seeing, even with this little run up in interest rates, you're seeing well under 6 months before you're putting real net dollars back in your pocket. The other thing we're seeing too right now, freeing up a lot of cash flow for people. So the actual effective rate you're paying across all of your debt can be much lower than the current interest rate you have now and the current market interest rates for sure. So there's a lot of ways for you to get ahead and beat the bank.
For real, when you take into consideration all of your interest, it does make sense. Because if you blend them, you make way savings by refining. 303-867-7000. 303-867-7000. The lender I use, the lender I recommend, idealhomeloans.com. Julie wants to talk about selling mineral rights. Julie, what's going on?
Well, thanks for taking my call. I appreciate your time. I have a company that has approached me about selling our mineral rights, and I'm looking for a way to become a little better educated and look into this a little bit more deeply, because it's a huge decision on our part, and I really don't know where some good resources are for me to get advice and guidance.
A few questions. When people sell mineral rights, many times they're selling nothing, and people buy up mineral rights for the future, and it really almost never turns out to be anything, except in some rare cases. And then it means something. Most of the time, mineral rights mean something when you have isolated land or big tracts of land. So where is your land?
We're out just south of Highway 7 and west side of Brighton area.
Okay, so you're west of I-25.
Yes, sir.
So how far?
I'm sorry, east of I-25.
Oh, I'm sorry, east of I-25. Okay, so if you're east of I-25, how much land?
Just under 2 acres.
Only 2 acres. And what's around you?
Residential all over.
All over.
And there is some open agricultural.
Is there any open land around you? Like, do you have open fields around you?
Within a couple of miles, yes, and they're getting.
No, I'm talking about around you. What is around your property? What borders you?
3 sides are bordered by residential, and then we overlook what's probably a wetlands area, is what it looks like. So there's some open in that wetlands area.
The reason I ask is many times, you know, mineral rights mean nothing because they're going into a community and they see if they can get enough people to agree in order for them to make a tract that they can horizontal into, or even in some cases get surface rights. So do they want surface rights or just mineral rights?
I don't see them referencing surface rights at all on this paperwork. It looks like it's just mineral.
All right. There are all kinds of oil and gas attorneys around that can review that for you. And many times it's not even necessary if you have a regular attorney. Just all you're doing is you're selling the rights to the minerals under your land. That's it, period. It's not a big deal. And you don't get a lot of money for it either, because all the risk, the drilling, and all the operations is done by someone else. Probably the one with the mineral rights, the actual land, makes the least amount of money. And the people who operate and drill make the most. So how much are you being offered?
$27,000.
For 2 acres?
For just under 2 acres, yeah.
You know what? They have a really, really good idea that they're going to use it. Because usually you get offered like $1,200, $2,000, $2,500.
Yeah.
This is a lot of money.
Pretty rich offer, yeah.
It is. Which means it's probably worth more, obviously. But
probably.
I don't know how. Now that part I don't know how to assess it, the price. I don't know that. I mean, there are people that know that based on geographic maps and explorations and satellite imagery. And I don't know if oil and gas attorneys know how to do that. I know landmen know how to do that, but landmen who are doing, the landman is the one coming after you. He's not going to tell you. So you'd have to get another landman to tell you. Dan, how would you do it, being in the industry?
Well, she's selling all of her mineral rights. It's not like you had bought leases.
No, I bought leases. She's selling.
Yeah. But she's selling all her mineral rights.
Yeah, it's so totally.
So she won't get any money whatsoever.
No royalty. No royalty.
Right. She'll get nothing
She's
like
done.
that. Right.
So, but still, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it
is.
For
2 acres, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what? How do you? Here's what I'm asking, Dan. Who evaluates what that's worth? How did they know to offer her something?
Right. It's a landman that's going and offering that.
And they base it on geologic testing.
Right. But they're actually working for the E&P company and stuff who said, hey, we need this. That looks like.
But is there any publicly available information on their imagery? Is there a government? No.
No, I doubt it and stuff, because they have their geologists working on it, saying, hey, this looks like it's a good prospect.
And when the geologists find really good prospects, they're not necessarily sharing it with anyone.
Absolutely.
They keep it secret.
Right.
So, Julie, you just have to know, based on my experience in this, like he said, I lease property. I don't buy. I don't sell. see, here's what would happen. People get your rights, right? Once they get your rights, they find an operator, and that's usually an oil company. And then you get an operator, or the operator works for an oil company as a freelancer or whatever. Then the operator goes out and finds people like me to finance it, and they call us royalty owners. We just invest and get a portion of it, but we don't have any say whatsoever if we're just a royalty owner. So that's how the chain goes. You are at the base, which is the mineral owner, and you know, you don't have to sell them either. You couldn't she do a lease with a royalty?
Yeah, if they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Or they can pool it. If enough people will not sell, then they can pool it.
All of that is negotiable, but we're right back to where we started. Who do you talk to about it? Well, it's a contract, okay? So any good contract attorney can tell you that, but specifically for gas and oil, the only thing they're going to tell you is if it's a valid lease. They're not going to tell you if you're getting a fair price.
Right.
Well, my other question too is what impact it could have on resale value of the property.
Nothing.
Too, if that's going.
No one cares about. The only thing you have to worry about in Colorado are water rights. You don't have to worry about mineral unless were you going to dig for anything?
No.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to most of the time. Here's the deal. I have never once heard anyone say, I want the mineral rights if I buy this property.
But Julie, you probably didn't even know you had the mineral rights when you bought that property, right?
No.
See, that's what most people don't. It just happens to be there.
If you had a tract of 360 acres or 640, when you buy big tracts of land, then you may care, because when they buy them, they want to know what they have. So you wouldn't care about it.
Plus your neighbors are going to get, you could go talk to your neighbors, they're probably getting the same offer, because they're not going to just want your 2 acres. They're going to want a big tract there.
For sure they will. And then if you talk to your neighbors, you guys as a block could negotiate. Here's the deal. If you negotiate, you're almost always going to get another offer. But I can't tell you what offer will be good. I don't know what it's worth, and I don't know where to find that information unless you have the research, and research takes money. So, and they're not obligated to share that with you.
Right.
Now,
and the contract language too is that typical legal language that I'm not completely.
And that's where you go to a transaction attorney. There are plenty of business law attorneys that they're transaction attorneys. We have them on our referral list.
Okay.
But you want to talk to a lawyer that's good with contract, and you may want to see if there's any John Fuller Law's personal injury, right? But he's an attorney. John, do you have? Are there classifications? Do you know of for oil and gas?
Oh, sure. There are
and water attorneys. I know.
I would say more of a general real estate type attorney.
That's a good idea too.
Would be a good place to start. I don't know that you need to go out and find specifically an oil and gas type attorney.
That's true.
Because, not all minerals fall within oil and gas. It could be other things that they're looking for. So, I don't know. I'd start general and then go specific from there. And you probably are not going to spend more than a few $100 grand total of this entire deal to answer every single question that you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, a worthwhile investment in my books. So.
Yeah, it really is, and that's good money. I mean, it's really found money because it's not going to affect you that much. It's kind of cool. Terry's got a question about a friend passing away. Terry, what's happening?
Hi, Tom. We had a friend that passed away here about 3 weeks ago. He had that flu, and him and his mother and his wife all got it. He and his mother passed, and his wife was in the hospital.
Goodness.
And now she's just out of rehab. They had to put her into an induced coma for like 11 days. Wow. So the whole household is gone, and she won't be able to afford to pay for her mortgage.
All right, why don't you hold on, because I hear you want to do something to help them?
Yes.
All right, hold on. Let's see what we can do. 303-713-TALK. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. That is a website, but the man behind it is the one you want if you're buying or selling real estate. There's just no other way to put it. We have never had a sponsor that has more positive reviews ever than Frank Duran. If you're looking to buy a house, go with him. And he has a team to help you. If you're looking to sell, he has stats to show he can sell sooner for more. It's that easy. 303-920-1622. 920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. And I love talking about Fix It 24/7 because they're the guys that will get you a professional to your home for $39. Now, right now is a great time to do it because it's not really cold, it's not really hot. So, for $39, if you're having any issues whatsoever anywhere in your home when it comes to plumbing or heating, they'll come out and diagnose it no matter how long it takes, and you only pay $39 for that. If you have a problem and have the work done, they'll refund you the $39. They waive it. So in essence, it's a free call when you have the work done, and I will tell you this, you will never have the amount of work, the value of work done for that price anywhere. The best prices for the work done anywhere. FixMyHome.com is their website. Check them out. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939.
From the L&L Heating and Air Conditioning Traffic
Travel
Center.
around the freeway system in the metro area for the most part.
My son was Aurora. He was telling somebody that was getting mineral rights offers to find out what neighbors were also getting them. Yeah, because he said you can draw that line. Well, they're doing a horizontal bore. They'll be doing a horizontal bore.
95%.
But they're not there. Okay, that's what it's real.
Yeah.
Do a horizontal, but they'll be collecting mineral rights from all the way around.
No, there are some that are whole circles.
Well, from wherever
We
they
have
think
found
it's
it. They figured out from the line. My son-in-law, because he had a friend that was had a same offer. They figured out what all neighbors were getting the offers. They put a notice up on a bulletin board in the neighborhood and figured out that they had a line on theirs that was going out to where what was an open area. So they thought there was a high chance probability that this would be. Huh?
That's what it, well, yeah, right, with the regular drilling.
Because he said one of the others, they looked, you did a surround, and it was completely built out on the surround.
Hey,
that it was a complete city.
What is the,
there was no open area for a radio.
this memo is a lot to do about nothing I hear, really.
Well, no, it actually says on there, on the memo, that they used the FISA, they used that dossier to get the FISA warrant.
Why isn't anyone covering it?
So other than that,
seriously, they're not saying.
Well, Fox is.
Huh?
Fox is.
Fox is going pretty well.
So a lot of people are saying it's a bunch of nothing, and what they're saying is basically they say the FBI didn't do their due diligence on this, and they're chastising the whole institution because they allowed them to do it.
Foreign intelligence surveillance.
But what about this other, or the rest of the memo they say would indicate? What is that?
That's Democrats. Oh, if they got all the information on that, the Democrats
or the Democrat.
The Democrats are voting probably today to release their.
And what do they have?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
But something that would vindicate.
I guess that's what they say.
How you're going to vindicate it? The warrant was issued on America.
oh yeah, well, look through.
So that's
You're like,
I hope it's not a bunch of do about stupid.
Foreign intelligence surveillance like that is rare on America. What does that mean?
It's not foreign intelligence.
That's what FISA is, Foreign Intelligence Service.
Oh, they're saying because they said he was a possible Russian
foreign agent
from that.
Yeah.
So
I assume you started that
you know what I mean?
process.
My friend Gary works in the government said it's extremely rare to get a FISA warrant on an American citizen.
They also said they almost always get them. Anybody they go in there and ask them, they almost get them. And that's what the judge only gets the one side of the story.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So that's what they're saying is, did they not give the judge all of the...
Yeah, I get that. Well, I'm worried about that.
No.
We're up,
this thing,
right?
We're not right out.
I know. What has me disturbed is this thing sticking on here.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Hey, did you know that our common man does triathlons?
What are the 3 activities? I have drinking, watching TV, and once in a while moving my feet. I'm just kidding.
That's a little bit different.
I don't watch TV. But what are the 3 activities?
It's swim, bike, and run, and typically in that order. The Ironman distance is a 1.2-mile swim, 112-mile bike followed by a marathon run, all in one day. So it's a long day. And it's all by choice, right? So
I know
it's what you choose to do.
It's crazy. Melissa, hi. What's going on? Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, Melissa. I forgot. I got to go back to Terry quickly. Terry, okay. So your friends have been devastated, and it was by the flu?
Yes.
How many people in the household passed away?
Out of the 3 people in the household, 2 of them passed.
And how old were the 2 that passed?
Mom was probably about 83. Roy is about 50. No, he's probably 60.
And Roy was what, the son?
Yeah, that was the son. He was self-employed. He rebuilt transmissions.
And so now who's alone?
Now it'll be the wife. And she's still in rehab trying to get
Roy's wife.
Roy's wife, uh-huh.
Okay. So now how old is Roy's wife?
She's 65.
And what does she do? Does she work?
No, she's just retired.
Mm-hmm. And
so that will be her only income.
What will be?
Her Social Security.
I thought to get full social, you get 66, right? Is it? Or 67?
Yes. Full social is 66.
But she
retired early.
Okay. And does she inherit anything from Mom?
No, that would probably go to Roy's son.
Wait a minute. Roy is married to, what's her name? What's the woman's name?
Connie.
Roy and Connie are married. Why would stuff go to Roy's son?
Well, everything got passed over to Connie since she's the sole survivor.
Right.
And then Connie will give Roy, his own personal stuff. But everything that he has there, all of his tools and all his equipment for his
goes to his son. I get it.
Or we're going to try to auction that off to get her some money.
Okay, she needs to get some money. And so she has no income at all except for Social Security.
Right.
Where is she living? Whose home is it?
It was hers and Roy's.
And she still has it. She has a mortgage or what? Is it paid?
Yes. No, it's a mortgage.
And
she hasn't been home there yet since this has happened.
God, do you know what are her monthly bills?
I have no idea.
So are you trying to get a lump sum of money? Because no matter what we do, it's not going to help her. I mean, it's for the rest of her life. She's 65, and she has Social Security, and do you want to, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you're looking for a patch, a Band-Aid, a temporary fix, and what's the long-term solution here?
She's probably going to go back to Kansas, where she was born, with her family.
Okay, that's a good plan.
In the meantime, we're trying to get her money to get her a little on her feet once she gets out of the hospital.
Okay, because she'll be out of the hospital with no one.
Right.
Does she have a son? Is Roy's son her son?
No.
Okay. So Connie will be out, and can she sell the house?
I'm thinking that's probably what she's going to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be real weak right now, so we're going to go over there and try to help her as much as she.
And what are you hoping for? If you wave your magic wand, what are you looking for? I'm not clear on what you need.
Yeah. And Tom, I'm not really clear either. I just want to be able to help her.
Okay, what about her medical bills are right now on Medicare, right?
Yes.
Okay. So she's not going to worry about that. She's going to need temporary money to pay the mortgage until she sells the house. But we need to get an idea of what that is. And then she needs some transportation money if she wants to move. So have you thought about starting a GoFundMe page?
No. Can you help me with that?
Yes, we can. Daphne, would you get her information, and then we'll do that? We still have our account, right? And we've taken down the ones we've had. We can put one up for her and help. But we want to get more information first, okay?
Okay.
We can walk you through it, or we can do it on our account and then give you all the money, whatever you want to do. But GoFundMe, in my opinion, seems to be the more popular and the better one. If anyone has a better suggestion, let us know. I know some of them out there take an exorbitant amount of money. And GoFundMe just takes, I think, at the most you pay is 5%. Melissa has a probate question, and we have some lines open. You can get right through at 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. In fact, if you don't have a problem, question, or complaint, and you simply want to rant or rave, I'll give you 30 seconds uninterrupted. What's going on, Melissa? What's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I just have a quick question. So I moved into my grandfather's house.
Yes.
To help take care of him and my mom when they were sick. My grandfather passed. It's his house. It was completely paid off. And then he owned it completely. And then my mom and I stayed here, and I helped take care of my mom until she passed. She just passed in June. Before she passed, she had informed me that she had paid the HOA fees for the full year.
Mm-hmm.
And I came to find out that she did not do that.
Why did she tell you that? Was she mistaken?
I think she didn't want me to worry about it, and she basically lied to me and said that she paid it, and she didn't.
How much is owed? How much is owed?
$7,000.
Wait, for how long is that?
For the year, the whole year.
How much are the HOA fees?
They were $260 per month.
Okay, so is she
came
being?
Well, my mom just passed in June.
Okay.
So I just got served with a summons for a foreclosure. So obviously they're trying to foreclose on the house.
Where is this?
And in Aurora.
Okay, so who owns the home now?
It's still in my grandfather and my grandmother's name. They both have passed.
Well, why didn't you switch it to your mom's name when they died? This is difficult.
Right. So when I called the lawyer that's handling the foreclosure, he told me that all I need to do is go down and file a probate on the property to have it transferred in my name.
Well, do you have any? Hold on. Is there anyone that will challenge it?
No.
Okay, you're the only living relative.
Well, my brother, but he already said that he would sign off on anything and not challenge anything or anything like that.
Is there a will?
No, there is no will.
So you need to contact David Salisbury.
David
Salisbury to help you do this, because you just need a very simple probate. Very simple.
Right. So the lawyer had told me that if I file the probate and have it put as me as the trustee on the property, then I can set up a payment arrangement with him.
Sure.
To pay off the back payment.
Of course you can. Is the house paid? Is the house paid for?
The house is completely paid for.
Okay, listen, you need to quickly do this, and you get everything in writing from this attorney, because the last thing you want is you setting all this up and it still goes to foreclosure sale.
Okay, so my question to you, though, is that once I file the probate, does the foreclosure stop because the property is now in probate?
No.
No.
No. Because it's a separate issue. It's against the house. And you need to talk to David Salisbury as soon as possible.
Okay.
Let me get his number for you. You have it?
Yeah, I got it. 720-493-3911.
Now, let's do that.
Okay, so is there nothing that can stop the foreclosure on it?
I'm not saying there's nothing. Bankruptcy could, but no one's there to go bankrupt. So you need to get this switched over. When is the sale?
Well, the summons just says that I have 21 days to.
Then you're fine. You're fine.
To them.
You're fine, because then they set the sale after the 21 days. But you need to respond to that, and David can help you there too.
Yeah, it just says that I have to respond to the attached complaint within 21 days of the summons, is all it says on here.
Right, and if you don't, there's a default judgment. So you want to respond, but talk to David Salisbury first. You come up with a response. The response will be, I am going to set up probate, get the house in my name, and then arrange for payment. But you still have to do that and get a settlement, and they have to withdraw the foreclosure. Don't assume they're doing it just because they tell you they are.
Right. Because I tried to contact the HOA, they won't even speak to me because my name is nowhere near the.
And I don't blame them. Right. They won't talk to you unless you show them. You show them that you're now the owner. They will, unless they won't, because they already sent it to their attorney. And remember, this is going to go up in price. That $7,000 is not including his fees. It's going to probably be $10 by the time you get done with it.
Right, and the attorney said that as soon as the court puts my name as a trustee, then I can make a payment arrangement with him.
Okay, that's fine, as long as you get a settlement agreement in writing and they withdraw the foreclosure. That's why you need David Salisbury. Do not do this alone. David Salisbury, 720-493-3911. That's really important. Dan wanted to give us some feedback on mineral rights. Go ahead, Dan.
Hi, Tom. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
On Julie's call, so you gave some really good advice, but I would suggest she Google, like, the the minerals are probably in Weld County, and as you know, Weld County today is jumping, right? So
Right.
the $27,000 probably is not a bad offer. She should definitely get with the neighbors, try and do some collective bargaining, see if any of them know of any people who have gotten more per acre for that. She should also get on the Google for like a Weld County landowners forum for oil and gas minerals. There could be information on there. I think a landman's probably not going to be switched in for what the most recent value is for what they're going for per acre.
Sure.
Probably what also she should do is, she didn't say who was buying them. I'm not going to mention the companies, but there's, a dozen companies up there.
Yes.
She should probably figure out, Google oil and gas companies in Weld County and just call up their land department, tell them that she has 2 acres. Tell them that she has 2 acres and ask them, A, if they want to buy them, and B, what they're worth. And if she calls up 4 or 5 companies, then she'll get an idea if that...
That's a really good idea, Dan. Thank you. That's a great idea. 303-713-8255. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ is changing the way people look at orthodontics, especially cosmetic surgery. Now, what they have hand in hand is this. If you wanted straight teeth in the past, you go to this new cosmetic dentistry and get veneers. They're beautiful, and if they do a great job, it looks good, but your mouth is still screwed up underneath. They didn't straighten out your jaw. They didn't widen your palate. They just covered your bad teeth with veneers. Again, if they do it right, there's nothing wrong with that. However, if you want truly to address your smile with the new orthodontics, Dr. Kent Lawson can do that for a fraction of the cost, and I mean a fraction of the cost. It costs 50 or 60 grand for veneers, just the front teeth 25 or more. And if you want to do the new orthodontics, and I mean it is way, way, way less expensive. What you do is you take these expanders and you wear them at night, and they gradually widen your palate, and then over a period of 2 years, your teeth naturally drop and straighten, your jaw is aligned with these mouthpieces, and then you wear Invisalign braces for the final touches. The whole thing takes 2 years, and you will be astounded at the results. Beautiful smile, no more TMJ, no more sleep apneas, and a beautiful, beautiful smile that's healthy as well. Dr. Kent Lawson, the new orthodontics, 303-690-0100, 303-690-0100.
Business Network, another
company from the oil and gas would give her the best offer just by calling up and asking.
No, but if you call competitors,
Right,
and say, hey, how does this sound?
And not only that, it's 2 acres. People say, what's 2 acres? Especially if they're not in there. So.
Yeah, but if you've got 4 out of the 5 neighbors locked up and another one starts talking
That's the
about
best thing is you get the
The
neighbors
unit
and stuff
of
like that.
alphabet is going to
But
try
you
to
they can
deliver
also
on
lease.
what
You
it
can
has
also lease them,
described
and then you
as
get
the theft
a
of
percentage
its
of the oil you
technology.
get out of it.
They used to work for companies like Facebook and Google. Now a group of tech pioneers
People are doing
have
it.
come
You
together
Google
to
and just
form
like say
a
we're oil
coalition
production will come.
against the very thing they built,
Google's
a tech-driven society. The organization wants to
Dan,
reverse
Google
what
makes
it's
everybody
calling
smart.
the digital
I still got a
With
question.
the
The
Fox
mic
Business
cord I
Report,
thought was going to catch on that. Should that be cut off so we don't catch something on it?
Well, I can cut it off. It's just that you pulling on this thing.
No, I wasn't.
There is,
No, I just was.
there is no
Yeah, I get that.
clipping that. And
I know.
right out of it.
I pushed back this way because I was afraid it was tape, but this cord, I don't know if it's your cord or one of the cords, I saw the cord.
It's the largest free trial settlement ever for any, hey, listen.
Well, I say that this thing just
The largest free trial settlement ever.
I know, that's why I'm concerned about that being
oh,
on
like I say, I don't mind. Like I say, you were going like this.
Well, no, I wasn't full out.
But it doesn't. There's no clip on this thing.
Yeah, why not? They're supposed to be.
Because it's full cost.
Oh, okay. Were they trying to tape that to something? I don't understand because that looks to me like
Oh,
that's
because it used to be on there, and I think it said Fort Thomas.
So the maker and operator
Oh,
here.
okay. Well, I was just concerned about that catching something.
Oh, once it's in there, it's fine. So
No, this catching.
I know, but why would it catch on something?
Because one of the, it was either his or some cord moved by it, and that's what made me concerned, the Eurocopter as well. It's going to catch on that. Well, I don't know, the corner of my eye saw something, I saw a cord, and I thought, shit, that's going to catch me.
That's on how they came down on the settlement.
No, I can't put a new cord on here.
That was
with
the
a pin
result
on
of a
that.
big long meeting like
No.
Jack or something, you know, and everybody was sitting in all their little rooms and somebody's going back and forth mediating that, maybe over more than a few days. But
there
they
was
came
a
to an
weird little
agreement
clip on
and how the allocation was going to be, handled and everything, and put the ink on it. It's a done deal. They probably have 20 days to pay that.
How do they pay an amount that big?
Check. Or wire. They usually write a check.
In one lump sum?
Sure. And they'll put that sum in a U.S. mail and mail it
Really?
to you. Yep. I've gotten State Farm checks for over $2 million. They don't have the authority to print those on the computer. They handwrite those. Weird, because
the value is so high?
They don't want to give anybody authority to put that many zeros on a check. So over $1 million, I think they don't handwrite. They write them in the mail. I've gotten them in the mail.
GenesisTotalExteriors.com. For reliability, honesty, ethics, GenesisTotalExteriors.com.
If you're building, if you're doing home improvements, please just remember that. Because there's so many rips out there. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Visit them. Steve, what's going on with you, Steve?
Hey, how's it going, Tom?
What's happening? We got a couple lines open, 303-713-TALK. What I love about toward the end of the show, if you tell your friends, they can get a little more time and get their call in for sure, 303-713-8255. So what's going on with your watch?
Hey, listen, let me see if I can sum this up real quick. My son went to a bar, he got drunk and blah, 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 and he called Uber to take him home, and he stumbled coming out of the bar and hit his head on the curb, knocked him out, and they called the ambulance. The ambulance took him to Denver General, and I guess the guys in the ambulance took his belt off and his watch off and all that good stuff, and they put it in a bag, and they handed all the stuff over to Denver General Hospital.
Good luck.
Well, okay, so he gets all his stuff back, but all of a sudden his watch is missing.
Is it an expensive watch?
Yeah, it's a $2,700 tag.
Yep.
So anyway,
there are a lot of, I imagine there are a lot of nurses and orderlies walking around with expensive watches and jewelry, because I hear this over the years so much.
The funny part about it is, a couple of days later, my son happens to be looking on Craigslist, and here's this watch for sale. It's a tag. Okay.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of tags for sale.
Well, that's fine. But, so he contacts this guy and says, hey, send me a picture of the front and back of the watch, because there's engraving on the back of the watch.
Wait a minute, why would this guy be honest about it?
Well, no, the guy's trying to sell it.
Oh, so who asked for the picture?
My son happened to come across it on Craigslist.
I heard that part, and you said then he asked for photos of the watch, so I thought maybe he contacted the seller, and the seller wanted to know if he had a stolen watch. But that's not the case. Your son asked for photos, right?
Right. So
okay.
Guy gives him photos of the front and back of the watch.
Is it the watch?
It's the watch. The engraving is exact.
Good. You know how I would handle it?
Well, wait a minute. So he contacts him, and he wants to sell for $1,000. Okay. They want to meet at Walmart, so he goes to Walmart, and the guy gets spooked for whatever reason, and
he should have had the police waiting.
Well, he filed a police report.
No, he should have had the police waiting, saying this guy's going to show up to try to sell me stolen property, and unless it's Inglewood police, they would do it.
Well, it was Denver.
Well, Denver, but you didn't ask him. Denver would do it. If you said to Denver, I got the guy, he's going to meet me at the parking lot to try to sell me my stolen watch, they would be there. Did he call?
He did call, and he filed a report.
I didn't ask that. Did he call to ask them to meet them there to bust the guy?
And they did, but the problem was, when they went to meet him at the Walmart there, I guess Walmart had some kind of shoplifting stuff going on, and there was several police cars there, and blah, 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 and it spooked the guy. And he took off. But we have his phone number, and Craigslist has all their information. So
what are the police doing about it?
Well, at this point in time, nothing. I mean, there's a...
If a detective knows this, they're going to set up a sting. They're going to call the guy. I mean, they really are good at this. I mean, they really will do it. Especially a $2,500 or whatever, $2,700 watch. I don't think people are communicating with the police.
Well, I guess the police are like going, well, we have to get a detective involved. And
That's exactly right. They got to get a detective involved. And then the detective will set up a buy. They want to catch these guys. Listen, with all the joking we do about police, if you hand them a case like this, they're going to do something about it.
Okay, well, at this point in time, they're kind of like dragging their feet. You know?
How long has it been since you told them exactly what you told me? When did you tell them you have the phone number and the ads in Craigslist? How long ago?
Last Thursday.
Okay, they're not dragging any feet. It's only Monday.
Well, I mean, really, even if they get involved or they find the guy or trace his phone number or whatever on Craigslist or whatever it is, I mean, if he doesn't have the watch, how do you...
Do you have a case number?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have the detective's name or just the officer? Who do you have?
We have a detective.
Good. Do you want us to call the detective? Does the detective have the phone number and everything involved?
Yeah, but I think it's one of those throwaway phones.
Why? It's not working now?
Well, no, it's still working.
Okay. Does the detective have that number?
Yes, he does.
Good. And I'm sure the detective is going to set up a buy, and they're going to bust the guy. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Well, he took it off of Craigslist, so...
Who did?
The guy who's trying to sell the watch. He took it down.
Oh, he took it off of Craigslist. Oh, damn.
Because he got spooked.
I wonder why he got spooked, though. I mean, when he showed up...
Well, he showed up to Walmart, and I guess there was a shoplifting case going on. There was a couple cop cars and blah, 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 and he got spooked.
But the other cop that you guys called, was he there waiting?
There was a cop there with both my sons, yeah.
Damn it. Doggone it. Of all the luck, they would have busted the guy.
The sad part about it is, we're pretty sure he works for the hospital. I mean, you couldn't get the watch otherwise if he didn't work for the hospital.
Or he knows somebody who works for the hospital, or somebody in the ambulance or something.
Well, actually, they have video of, I mean, they must have cameras in the ambulance because he was taken to the ambulance, and they have video of him with the watch on.
Wow. What do you guys think? Anybody want to venture anything? You think this guy works for the hospital?
Well, I was thinking about, we've called the customer service line there at the hospital, I don't know, 12, 15 times, whatever it is. Nobody will call us back.
What are you asking for?
Well, we're trying to get the video of the cameras of him coming in there with his watch on, all that good stuff.
Are you still in contact with the seller originally? Like to set up a new meeting place, or is that more in the detective's wheelhouse now?
No, he gave them the number, and
the hospital inventories that stuff that comes in. It should be on an inventory list for the hospital. My wife does this as a nurse, the inventory, everything that goes in that bag.
Unless the paramedic took it, maybe.
Well, then we know where it went.
We can't even get the inventory from the hospital. We can't get anybody from customer relations to call us back to look at anything, to verify anything. We can't. They won't call us back.
We'll call the hospital for you, but with HIPAA, they're gonna turn this into a HIPAA thing, even though it has nothing to do with the medical part of it. Damn, this sucks. You have that phone number, right? So, did you try calling it?
Not lately, no.
Has your son went to the hospital himself and tried to get with the customer relations in person?
He did.
And they said there's nothing in the inventory that said there was a watch?
No, he had to fill out some paperwork and stuff, and they would get back to him, and nothing's happening.
Was there anything else missing besides the watch, or everything there?
No, just the watch.
And that's the only thing of value he had?
Oh, well, he had like a couple $100 in his wallet, which is still there, and all that good stuff, and just the watch is gone.
So do you have the picture of the watch?
We do.
That the guy sent?
Yep. And plus we get, all the emails went back and forth and how much and negotiated price and all that good stuff. Yeah, we have all that.
I wonder if they're trying to trace that cell phone.
You mean the police department?
Yeah. How do you know it's a burner? You don't know that for sure, right?
Well, you know what? We don't.
And Craigslist will give all sorts of information to the police.
They will?
Yes.
Good.
They absolutely will.
Listen, I wouldn't give up on the police. I mean, if you want, we'll call the police and check on it. If you give us the case number and the officer's name, the detective's name, we'll have Clint call over there. Let's do it. I mean, 303-713-TALK. What do you guys think? Anybody have any suggestions for him? Or would you try to set up another sting? That's kind of dangerous, unless you set it up and have the police call. The police might already be doing it. So I wouldn't interfere.
I still think if the hospital, he needs to find out that inventory, because it's on their inventory, then they're responsible for it.
Well, that's what he's trying to do.
I'd try to set up another sting unless the seller is wise to something coming up.
Well,
you know?
the police might be in on it, doing it already, and too many calls might spook him.
Yeah.
But he took it off Craigslist.
Let's call the Tom Martino show and tell half of Denver.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, buddy, we're setting up a sting operation. Don't go to the Walmart.
Yeah, chances are this guy's not.
This tag watch.
You know what would be interesting is just do a quick search now, just to see if maybe he put it back up. I don't know how long ago it was, but just out of curiosity, I wonder.
Yeah,
just do a quick tag search.
We'll do that. 303-713-8255. Listen, if you have any suggestions, give us a call. As I said, we have wide open lines, 303-713-TALK.
From the L&L Heating and Air
My wife says the surgery centers get nailed all the time for stuff they have to pay for.
You know, who really gets nailed is people in old folks' home.
Yeah.
They might have any of their jewelry, you may as well.
When they intake it, they inventory everything and put it in that bag, and if that doesn't match on an inventory, the surgery center is responsible for it.
We've had one where they cut rings off without a watch on.
Really? But they're supposed to document every item.
No, if it wasn't inventory, then you know.
Old folks' home?
So.
Not that I know of, stuff, because they're on their finger, and they said she went there, and the next day they had other rings on her finger. But they were like cheap little rings, and you couldn't even get the rings off, and that's why they never took them off. Because their knuckles were all swelled, they couldn't even take them off, so they just left them on there.
All the time down in
Yeah, and then they tape them, they still inventory them, but they tape them, inventory them on that inventory. Yeah.
I don't know if they.
Well, my wife does this all the time.
Old folks' home?
No, it's surgery center.
I'm talking old folks' homes where they really get it.
Oh, God, yeah.
All the time, like once a week, you're just
Well,
going
they
like
should,
that on the news.
the family should not leave valuables around.
They couldn't get it off her finger. Her knuckles were swelled, they couldn't get off, so they would have cut them off.
So somebody stole it?
Somebody stole and put cheap ones on.
They got it off. They probably cut it off.
Right, that's it. I mean, the low-wage workers in an old folks' home.
Oh, God,
look at that. This is
Everything's big down
The
there.
bottom of the barrel.
Florida. My friend just went to a Super Bowl party last night.
You get any kind of a nursing certificate,
place in
doesn't matter how much background you get a job in a nursing home.
Football screen brought into the backyard for this big Cuban 35-foot.
Oh, really? Holy cow, 35 foot. That's a movie projector.
3 stories.
Crazy. That was a good game.
Oh, see, Daphne got the information for this guy. And of course, Bank of America still hasn't called back. They're really good
From Bank of America.
There was a screen in the backyard. No way.
Oh, it's one of those inflatable? Yeah. Just house riding in water and all that.
Go big or go home, right? They had a huge pig roast and paella and all the Cuban do it right, you know. Wow. There's some money down there, man.
Yeah, sure.
Just sick.
You ever boat down there?
This is not how they roll. Sean Hannity coming up today at 1.
Yeah.
On Denver's Talk Station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's talk to Joe. Joe, what's going on?
Hey, just curious if you had any ideas on best ways to sell used appliances and maybe cabinetry. We're doing a house remodel, and I have a lot of actually very good stuff that I couldn't convince my wife to keep. That
now, Joe,
would be worth some money, I think.
My common man likes to use Nextdoor, that app. For the community, a lot of people. Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. It's what's nice is that there's a little bit of insurance there because it's local and it's better than Craigslist.
Right.
I don't think the reach is as big as Craigslist.
No,
but,
Craigslist is a great place to list things. There's no doubt. I don't have a problem with the reach. I don't have the problem with any of that part. The part I have or the ease of use. It's just that everyone can use it, and so that's both a benefit. And it's also a curse because there are so many rip-offs. I would always say to list things on Craigslist if you want to sell them. You'll certainly get calls. The problem, 80% of them are going to be rip-offs and liars and cheaters trying to rip you off.
What kind of appliances are they? Like, what's the value of those and how many?
Well, I mean, they're about 10 years old. It's KitchenAid Superba line. I got a 42-inch built-in fridge freezer, oven microwave combo, and a 6-burner gas stovetop, all stainless steel, all great condition. I mean, you look at the kitchen or you look at the fridge, you'd be hard-pressed to know that it's not brand new or almost brand new. It's been taken care of.
I'd say it's worth posting. You never know, right?
And what in posts with photos, they always sell faster. But listen, if there is no secret anymore. It's either Craigslist or Nextdoor or whatever. I mean, you have to do what you have to do and just hope for the best.
Worth calling a used appliance shop, maybe?
No, they won't pay dirt. I mean, if you just want someone to haul them away, but they're not going to pay because they do buy used appliances, yes, but if you don't care what you get for them, if you just want below wholesale, sell them. They'll come and get them.
I just wouldn't respond to anybody who offers you less than half of what you're asking because it's probably not going to pan out anyway.
Facebook Marketplace is a good place for appliances.
Thanks, guys.
You actually don't respond either if people offering too much because that's another scam.
Tom?
Yeah.
I have someone that left me their number. They are interested in purchasing, so I can connect the two.
Oh, Joe hung up. So, Joe, if you're listening, you better call back because we had somebody interested in buying. Mary, what's going on with you, Mary? What's happening?
Well, my husband and I have a half-acre of land in the city of Greeley. We were offered money to sell our mineral rights.
How much?
Like $400 for the half-acre. We did not, and in September, we got a check for $2,300, and I called the Oil and Gas Commission, and they said, well, there are 21 wells drawing oil from under this part of Greeley. And because I didn't sell the mineral rights, they are sending me whatever portion.
Oh, you're getting the royalty.
We're getting the royalties, and it's like we've gotten $6,200 since September.
For doing nothing?
For doing nothing.
And you only have a half acre?
Right.
Holy crap.
In the city of Greeley, but the wells are in Evans. And so if that lady has...
Wait a minute. The wells are in Evans?
Yeah, Evans is in, it's like Aurora, Denver.
And they're drawing out the minerals from Greeley?
From under Greeley. Weld County has tons of oil.
And therefore, they apportioned somehow.
Yep.
But I thought if you had the rights, you couldn't take them anyway, even if you do give a royalty.
Well, I'm not exactly sure on that, but if she has oil kinds of things, and a lot of people don't have the wherewithal to know what they have underneath, and we didn't. But also, water is getting scarce, and so she may want to really check on whether she wants to sell her mineral rights or not. When I talked to the oil and gas lady, she said, "Oh, never sell your oil and gas rights or your mineral rights." So
well, yeah. Now that's not always true, but it could be. Like in your case, look, you got $6,200 already instead of $400.
Right.
And what's great about that is it's going to keep coming.
Yep.
It'll increase the value of your property tremendously. Or you know what you could do when you go to sell your property, you can keep them.
Right. Well, I called to see if we were getting the money in error because I didn't think that there was that much, and she said, "Oh no, there are 21 wells drawing oil from that area, and they'll have to send you something." So.
Well, thank you, Mary. That's good. 303-713-TALK. I don't even know we had time. So John Fuller, Fuller Law, This $100 million settlement we talked about in personal injury, a settlement is different than a judgment. When you get a big judgment, a person gets a judgment, how long does it usually take to collect a judgment?
It depends. If it's a normal